1,078 days, bro.
Is that how many? I was gonna count on my way up here, and
I didn't count. Siri told me.
oh, okay. Dude. Well, that's a good idea.
It's been over 1,000 days since we've had you on the pod, dude.
So this podcast grew very rapidly after.
Yeah, that was like 83, I think it was. Number 83.
It was 83.
I think so, yeah.
So it's been, and that was pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was.
So it had to have been 2019.
It was July 24th, 2019.
Dang, that was like kind of right before COVID, huh?
Yeah, dude, right before fucking. That was the last universe that we were in.
Yeah,
that was the end of that universe, and now we're in a new universe.
So this one here, this cool new universe.
You like it, dude?
It's pretty rad. Yeah, I mean, downstairs was cool.
Yeah,
but this little nook you built up here,
thank you, bro,
is very, very cool.
Thank you, Mickey. I'm glad to have you back, dude. Thank you for making the drive, man.
Dude, I'm pumped to have this be my second opportunity to kind of tell my story, reiterate my story, and also our relationship. So
hell yeah,
cool.
Bro. Thank you, Mickey.
Yeah, no
yeah. So when you came that last time, like we've met each other before, but we really didn't have that much of a relationship.
No, just basically I would say like a work relationship.
Yeah.
So, we're buying bolts, or you were sponsoring bolts for a lot of our builds and stuff. So that was kind of the extent of it. So we just a small talk, really.
Yeah. 1,000 days later, dude.
Here we are at our dude. I would say and we'll get into this, I'm sure, in the pod, but you were like one of, I think, 3 people that actually were my sounding board for what's now the FREK, which is...
We're just talking about that.
Which is the Throtl 1999 Honda Civic rear-wheel drive converted hatchback.
Yeah.
And so I think we may have touched on it in the first pod. I don't remember that was like kind of a dream project for me.
I was looking back at your socials, and that was late August when you first posted up the car.
Yeah.
So it was so it was just maybe a month after we did the podcast.
And I had been sitting on that project in my head for like 10 years.
Really?
Well, basically since the EP3 came out.
Mm.
So, yeah, I mean, man, cool project, but man, thank you for the inspiration. And basically what I was looking for from you was basically a pat on the back saying,
just do it.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. You should do it.
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted from you. But you were such a good sounding board for me. You, Ryan from Rywire, and a couple other close industry friends that I admire and respect. All said the same thing. You need to build that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So we did.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you did, bro. And I'm honored that you were to ask me your opinion, bro. I appreciate that.
Hey, you're a tastemaker in the scene, brother.
I try to be, Some people don't like the taste, but
a lot of people don't like my taste either. How many people tell me to stop with the fluoro yellow already?
Yeah. Oh my god, right. No, I feel you. But sometimes you get just so deep into it that it's just day to day. You
it's
really
life.
Don't see. Yeah, it's just life. So I really don't see much of the influence that we do have in my head. I kind of do, but then sometimes I'm like, I don't know if that's my ego.
It's so close to you that you don't really see how far reach you actually have.
If I do,
Yeah.
Say the spike thing, right? The way that I see that, dude, is when we first came in, we started selling the spikes, and we're selling them on forums, dude. Nobody's doing that shit,
Nope.
And then I start to see it get more popular, and then it starts to get on all these cars, and there's a time where the spikes are so crazy, and then so much stuff starts coming off of that.
Yeah.
Other companies are making spikes, eBay's making spikes. Now it comes to spike wheels, and then trucks. Yeah. The trucks have, and then
you pioneered that stuff.
In my ego head, I'm like, yeah, I did that, but then I'm just like, I don't know, maybe somebody else was doing it.
It's okay to take recognition for something like that, man. That is, it wasn't my taste. I never did the spikes. But I'd be a fool if I sat here and told you I didn't see it happen, and I didn't see you start it, and I didn't see it take off on every other platform selling spiked studs for bolts and nuts. It became a huge thing.
Yeah.
And that's, kudos to you for that and sticking with it.
I mean, those are the kind of those things that you really don't know if you did have like a huge influence on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, like for me as a creator, like I would just like that sort of recognition. Everybody just make your money. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what you guys do. It's all good,
Hey, everything gets knocked off at some point, right?
For sure. But if one of these companies that knocked us off were to take me in the side and be like, hey, you're really my inspiration, but I'll be like, I'll give him a hug. Like, hey, it's all good, bro. That's all I fucking want, dude.
You're never gonna get that, brother. You're never gonna get that. As much as I would like for that to happen for you,
let's hug it out. We'll just hug it out, bro.
Nah.
It's not gonna happen. But then I'll see something like that, and you'll see like the small things happening. You're like, I wonder if that was like inspired. Sometimes I'll think about like podcasting stuff too. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. But then, Frank, your ego's getting ahead of you. Sometimes.
I think we live in that same world with the YouTube stuff that we do, like
for sure,
thumbnails and things that we put in the videos. I think we're all inspired by something.
Yeah,
you're a fool if you think you're just this creator that's not inspired by anything.
Yeah,
there are random things I see on a daily basis that have no real meaning to me, but it's something that I may see or notice, and that's cool. How can I put that or use that creativity towards what we're doing in the YouTube space or on Instagram or in a car build or something like that? So like I saw your your lower control arms that you're doing for I think it's the EG and EK platform with DAs with the nut as the the fastener area for the lower control arm. Those things, to me, that's like cool, and that's something that encompasses what you're doing here as a business. You're carrying that over, and that's something that's probably going to catch on. Somebody's going to knock that off.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. But it's like when I get inspired, I like to kind of like paint the picture of what inspired me to do this. It was something from skateboarding culture that inspired me to do this, or this podcast studio was inspired by like I wanted it to be like a comedy place.
You nailed it, because this reminds me of the Comedy Store.
Exactly, that's what I wanted it to feel like, and you get those inspirations. But then I think a lot of time it is just the ego from the other side. I didn't copy you, I've been doing this. And that was the thing with the spikes. It was like, oh, so you've been doing it longer than semis? I'm like, no, but we're not building semis over here.
So you took your inspiration from maybe a semi truck that you saw at a truck stop or on the road and applied it to cars, which nobody was doing.
Yeah.
So,
but all that shit's just
fair game, dude.
It's just ego, bro. That's it, dude. And I think the older that I get, the more I realize that how much ego had to take a part in a lot of the decisions that I made, like in most of my 20s, for sure, all of my teens.
Yeah. I think a lot of people outgrow the ego stuff as they age,
hopefully,
and have accomplishments and stuff like that. I think I think we're all guilty of a little bit of ego tripping here and there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sometimes you just gotta reel it back, or you'll get humbled.
Yeah, that happens too.
So, so you mentioned it, dude. The FREK. Let's talk about it, man. Because back then, last pod,
it didn't
barely
exist.
Started it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably had it at the time, right? But it wasn't announced. And then fast forward to maybe 2 months ago or something. Do you think?
Yeah, probably. That's when it really kind of kicked off content wise. Is like finished, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But any of you guys that have ever built cars know that they're never actually done.
Yeah.
In the world that we live on YouTube, things can be done because it kind of content runs its course or whatever, and then it's time to move on to something else that people want to see or something fresh. I feel like the FREK's gonna live for a while. I know it has a shelf life for sure, but the FREK was, a little backstory if you guys aren't familiar with Throtl, the brand that I helped start, or the FREK project. It's basically a rear-wheel drive EK Civic that I've always loved the EK chassis and the look and all the bits that go with it, like the wings and the lips and the spoilers and everything. I think it's just like the perfect hatchback.
Yeah.
But the one thing that always fell short for me was the drivetrain.
Okay.
And I'm a huge B-Series fan if you're going to go front-wheel drive. But I always wanted to do a K series rear wheel drive EK because I thought it would be cool to be able to do donuts and burnouts and all the hood stuff that everybody does in their rear wheel drive cars in a Civic, because I think it just fits the mold from a look standpoint. And so this was, as I mentioned earlier, an idea I had many, many, many years ago, and I just never had the means to do it. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the fabrication skills, and I didn't have the budget. A project like that, you can be into six figures real fast when you start handcrafting things from scratch and having to buy specialty parts and race parts to make things work. And the nice thing was it didn't cost that much because of the industry. Yeah, we've got such a great industry around us, especially in the sport compact area of our industry. Once people found out I was doing this, everybody reached out, man. Like you reached out. What bolts do you need, bro? I'm gonna send that your way. My buddy at JSP Fab, he's a big EG6 Corolla guy, but he has a history in Civics. Yeah. And so he was coming down and checking out the progress on the car and giving me his thoughts and ideas. And I had random people stopping in now and again to help with, like, yo, this is so sick, I want to come put my 2 cents in. And I'm always open to that, because I think if you close your mind off to others' ideas and stuff, you're really going to be in this tunnel, and you're just going to build something that could be so much better if you just listen to everybody's ideas. And so having really talented people around me and relationships that I've built over the past 20 years in this industry are really what created that car and created my ability to be able to make that car reality. If I would have tried to build that car 10 years ago, I don't think I had the skill set for it. I learned so much from the drift car builders and race car builders that I worked with and alongside when I worked at Falcon back in like 2004 and 5. So just, learning from them and building up this ability to do the project. And I doubted myself a lot. Really? I really did. I mean, it doesn't come off on camera, I don't think, too much, but there's a reason that the project took almost 2 years to do, because one, we weren't working out 100% of the time. We have other projects coming in and out of the shop, and we have to keep the YouTube content fresh, so it can't be the main focus all the time. But the other part of it was me trying to figure out how to mount the rear differential. We went down, I think, 3 different paths before we finally got to where we ended up, which is for now is the ideal solution, but in a month it might not be. So one thing I learned from John at JSP Fab was that when you create one-off things, a lot of times it's not right the first time. You can look at it when you're done, you're like, oh, I should have done this. I can go back and make this stronger. I can lighten it up here and make it more fortified in this way. And so the rear end, for example, we went and did this versus that, where we drag raced the car, which it was never meant to be a drag racing car. But to get it launched, and we knew it was a great opportunity for exposure for the car to get it over on the Hoonigans channel. Yeah. They wanted us to come bring it for a drag race. And so the car wasn't even done, and we agreed to it. We got it ready. Yeah. Got it up there, and we literally ripped the diff out of the rear end. We didn't know it till the car got back, but the diff was hanging by 2 bolts.
Oh my God.
4 bolts by the time we got back. And it has 4 in the back and 2 in the front where the Hossport mounts are. That whole beam that carried the rear end was snapped in half.
Oh shit.
And so we literally got the car back from that race. Yeah. Where we learned a heap about the car, what it was good at, what it wasn't good at, put it up on the lift, and we were getting it ready to go to AutoFest with Max Boost, and found that the rear end was about to fall out.
Oh shit.
So literally a Friday, first thing in the morning, we saw the issues, and by the end of the day, Friday, we had it all basically re-engineered. And we ripped everything out and rebuilt the whole back end.
So what was it that failed?
It was all parts that we made. So, and that's the thing, like, I'm not an engineer. I didn't go to school for engineering. I tend to overbuild things. So on this project, because we were trying to keep the car so light, I tried to really rein myself in and build everything very purposeful and lightweight, because I wanted to keep the car under 2,000 pounds. So in the materials I selected to build the carriers and stuff, we went with a lighter wall steel and, 1x1. And now we snapped that in half. So now we went to 3x1 with an 11 gauge wall. Like, we buffed everything up, made more support braces and brackets. And that's something you can only learn by failing.
Yeah.
Had it held together, we never would have touched it again. But we learned because it broke. And so now it's like, we took it to AutoFest a couple weekends ago at Auto Club Speedway and took the car out for what it was meant for. And that's track driving. And, you know, aside from some tuning issues, the car held up great. So all those changes we made were the fix. And now hopefully we don't have to go back and mess with those anymore. It'll be something else, right?
Yeah. So what's the next place that you guys are going to be taking the car to?
We don't have one yet. I think probably Grid Life event is probably going to be a target for us.
Yeah.
And so the car is pretty much ready. I do want to get it back on the dyno. It made a really modest, like just under 400 horsepower to the wheels. And if you guys know your K series motors, we have a 3071R on there with big injectors, and it's capable of 600 all day long probably. But I'll be honest, like, it made just shy of 400, and it is an absolute riot to drive. Like, it weighs nothing, so it's like a go-kart.
Is it still below 2,000 pounds?
It has not been on the scales yet, but if I bet my money on it, yes.
Wow, dude.
It is an absolute animal.
That's
and a handful.
Cooking. Yeah, for sure.
So take everything you know about your front-wheel drive EK with 400 horsepower, 600 horsepower, whatever you're making, throw it out the window, because you're driving totally different wheels. It's probably lighter, and you've got all these other things now in play that aren't in play in a front-wheel drive car. So it's a whole different animal and machine to to get behind and have fun. And so far, I'm absolutely enjoying it, and it's just such a unique project, and I'm honored and super happy that I was able to actually complete it to the point it is now and drive it.
Hell yeah, dude. It came out so good, man. I like how you went with like the matte color and you just put a little gloss.
Man, I got hated on for that.
Really? Why is that? Because you didn't build it how they wanted you to build it?
Well, I mean, and that's something that, when you're in the YouTube space, as we are at Throtl, you're subjecting yourself to that. And, you do these pods, you go up on YouTube. I'm sure people have negative things to say, positive things to say, and you just take it as it goes. But the satin scheme, I love dry carbon. I love the look of dry carbon. I think it's one of the most beautiful things when you build a car, to have the carbon weave and it's dumbed down with the nice matte finish, whether it's actual dry carbon or you're just laying a matte clear over it. I think it's an awesome, beautiful look. So I wanted to integrate that into the car, and most of the car is carbon. The doors, the roof, the hatch, the hood, a lot of the stuff on the car is actually carbon. So in order to kind of keep the carbon exposed and blend it with the remainder of the car, I chose Hot Rod Satin Black. Or Hot Rod, I'm sorry, it's not satin black. It's actually like just flat black.
Gotcha.
But it is an automotive application paint.
Okay.
And then what we did was we went back and cleared the whole car with a matte clear so that the black matched the carbon clear-wise. So it's a matte clear over the entire car.
Okay.
So I thought that treatment was really cool, and I always knew the car was going to have a livery on it. So you probably remember back in the day that there was an Evo that was on the cover of one of the import magazines, and it was a blue Evo with white Sparko S's all over it. And the front of the car was white, and the Sparko S's just kind of like came off the white. And it blended the white to the blue in a really cool way. And Ken Block has actually done quite a bit of that with his rally liveries and stuff, where he's blended color into other objects as the livery goes back.
Oh, okay.
So I always kind of knew what kind of livery I wanted. I love the one make series civic races over in Japan, and they all kind of have this really busy liveries on them, but they're all kind of similar in the way that they're shaped and lined out. And so I felt like if we made the car that satin black and then we threw the fluoro and then gloss black over top of it, the gloss black would be the catalyst that would kind of blend it all together. So that's why you see in the background of that car, if you look closely, it's a giant like 12-foot Throtl logo in gloss black that's laid on the side of the car. And that ties all of it together. And then the fluoro's over that.
Okay.
And so if you look at it now, you don't really notice the carbon. But when the car first came out of paint, it was polarizing to people because they thought that was how it was going to be. They thought it was done. And in my head, I'm like, well, just trust the process. It'll look cool when it's done. I promise you. But I'll be honest, I fell in love with it all blacked out.
Really? It
I
looked
thought
good, dude.
So sick.
It looked good.
But man, 50% of our audience hated it. So again, that car I was building for me.
Yeah.
We do, most of our builds are built to appease the masses.
For sure.
But you can't appease everybody. So.
Yeah, so speaking of that, had you guys even done any sort of Honda builds or anything on Throtl prior to that?
You know, my little white EG made some appearances early on when we first started Throtl. We were looking for content and stuff. I did some like, top 10 things I hate about my Civic or
Gotcha.
Whatever. And that was kind of the extent of our Honda content. We really focused on mostly Toyota and Nissan, and then some Euro marks like BMW, Mercedes, and stuff like that early on. So
got you.
that was the first real deep dive into Honda stuff.
So what was the response like after you debuted that was going to be one of the projects coming up?
Because our audience is so, I guess, well-rounded. We've got everything from American muscle car guys to Japanese guys to truck guys that watch our channel. So I think it was met with a little resistance at first. But I think once it started taking shape and we were talking about it and kind of laying the vision out, I think people started to get on board. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, who doesn't like watching a race car get built, whether it's a Civic or it's an Aston Martin or a Mercedes-Benz or, whatever it may be. Seeing like all the technology and all the cool things you get to do to a race car, the roll cage and all that stuff, the fuel cell and how you accomplish, getting the fuel from the outside of the car to the inside. There's all these little bits and bobs that you do to the car that is so intriguing, and it crosses over into all makes and models. It does not necessarily have to be a Civic.
Yeah.
It could be a Nissan Sentra, or it could be a Lamborghini. It could be whatever.
Yeah.
So that stuff applies to everything. And I think that's what makes it cool, is like you just throw out the make out the window and just watch the work that's being done. And that's what intrigues me. And that's why I'm on this one channel now on YouTube. I'm watching this guy build like I don't know my Dodges very well. I know the Hellcat motor, and I'm familiar with the motors, but some dude's building a Magnum / Charger.
Oh, okay.
That he's blended.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And like, I don't like those cars. I like wagons. So I think it's cool. That's what caught my eye, was he was building a wagon and he was putting a Hellcat motor in it. So it means it's going to be 1,000 horsepower probably, which is pretty cool. But then I got stuck on how he was doing the work. Oh, how's he going to make this door? How's he going to make the rear door fit the Magnum rear end, the wagon rear end? Like, none of that stuff lines up.
Okay.
So I got hooked on the details.
Got
and I
you.
think that's what intrigues people about the FREK,
Yeah.
is all the little details. And so we went, off the deep end. If you look at the engine of that car and the engine bay and stuff, everything has been touched and reshaped, and like, I think that's what people latched onto.
I like how you guys did the intercooler, man.
The V-mount.
Yeah, because it definitely took up some of the space that was going to be negative right there. So if that wasn't there, it would just like the S2000, or when people do like a FRS or something with the K series or whatever. There's like always a big empty space in the front,
big air gap,
which looks cool sometimes, but it looks cool how you guys utilize the whole V band setup.
And so that comes from just our, I was the only one that built this car. So Ricky was on it, Quinn was on it, Will was on it, I was on it, Evan was on it sometimes too as well, doing some of the fabrication stuff. But like, for me, it was like, if we're gonna do this outlandish rear wheel drive K series motor turned sideways, turbo manifold, like, it's gonna be busy. Let's do a V mount like an FD. That's cool. And so all of the guys in my shop all own rotary cars, and so they all have like a V mount in a certain fashion from the factory. They're flipped a little differently, but the radiators are laid back this way.
Gotcha.
And so rotaries run really hot. So basically, when you do a V mount on an FD or something, you're basically tunneling the air through the front bumper, and then the radiator is laid down at an angle instead of straight up, where the air would normally pass this way. Now you lay it down, the air goes in, goes out the bottom of the car, as long as you duct it properly. And then you have your radiator sitting up top. And that's where the name V-mount comes from, because it's shaped like a V. And then that air comes through and goes up. So the air is going through and out the bottom, through and up out the top of the hood. And that's why the ventilation in the hood is so important on the FREK, because otherwise that air just gets trapped under the hood, creates a low pressure, and you're creating a lift.
Yeah.
which you don't want.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, like creating that cool duct was so important, because that air has to have somewhere to go, and it's also very cool looking.
Yeah,
So
it looks great, dude. That's from what was it? An Evo?
that vent is actually off of an Evo 8 or 9 that I got through RPG Carbon. He's one of our suppliers, and he makes it for the Evos, but it's a very universal part. You can use it for anything. In fact, I've gotten so many DMs from followers that were like, dude, I can't remember what you said in the video. Where did that vent come from? And I've started to see them pop up a lot more now.
Oh, really?
On builds, which is really cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that my vision for that car is spinning off to other people's projects and stuff. It's really neat to see that. So
It's very surprising that like this was the first Honda build, and then there was so much pushback, because maybe it's just because I'm so into the Honda community that I just know how the builds are. But I think that the do you still feel like people have that kind of stereotype about Honda builds? Because I can't see any other makes and models that are doing it better than Honda guys are, meaning from the top to bottom, addressing everything.
No, they are. I mean, I think every niche car build or every niche car brand, that's not even true. It's not really a niche. I guess so. You've got your pocket of guys that are building Nissan GTRs. That there's a handful of guys that are doing the deep dives and full restorations or full fab, like full race car setups. I think every popular car has its own little group or niche of people that are doing it to that level.
Do you feel like it's to the amount as like Honda guys are?
In some cases, yeah. I know there's a handful. Like I've gotten really involved in the Nissan community as of late, specifically R32 GTRs and stuff. And there's a handful of guys that are out there doing, not just simple restoration stuff that anybody can do in their home garage. They're doing full fab work. There's a guy out in Texas called Leask Spec. If you guys own the GTR, you probably already have heard of him, but very talented fabricator, really humble dude. Just builds some amazing stuff. And so he's someone that I take inspiration from. In fact, he was even very helpful in the FREK build. Because he actually has an R32 GTR with a K series in it.
Oh, nice.
So actually, it's not a GTR. It's a GTST, which is a rear-wheel drive R32.
Got you.
So we also are doing an R32 rear-wheel drive on our channel as well, and we're using a RB20, which is kind of like the redheaded stepchild of RBs. But it was something we thought would be cool because it's kind of a throwaway motor, and they can make decent power. So
gotcha.
But Stuart is building this rear-wheel drive K series, and he's using a DCT BMW transmission. So
oh wow,
if you guys are into like really cool builds and really techie stuff, like his Instagram is a good spot to check some of that stuff out. And his fab work is beautiful.
Very cool. You know what I would want to build, dude?
What would you build?
E30 K swap, full M3 body,
dude,
everything.
It's a bolt-in affair now.
Is it? How much is the kit?
I don't know.
I
know it exists, though.
I think one time I looked at the kit and it was just very surprising how expensive it was, which makes sense because probably not a lot of people are doing it.
It may be because you're getting an oil pan, you're getting an intake manifold, you're getting motor mounts, you're getting transmission mount, you're getting an adapter plate for the transmission. A lot of guys are using BMW ZF trans, and now people are making adapters, as I mentioned, for the paddle shift, like the
That's
DCT
sick.
paddle shifted transmissions out of the BMW, like
Yeah.
M3s and stuff. So, man, it's the future. K swaps are it. I would put a K series in anything.
Really?
Like, I literally think it's bang for the buck. I mean, you can pick up the motors for $800.
Mm-hmm.
Every part available out there. Like somebody makes, thermostat housings, and there's all the stuff to make it rear-wheel drive is available now.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if you weren't a talented fabby, you probably weren't getting it done.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, if you plan and you have the budget, you could put one in anything.
So
at this point,
BMWs, FRSs,
Mhm.
Miatas,
Mhm.
like those are pretty much already ready to go.
yeah. S chassis.
Oh, really?
So Nissan, like S13, S14, S15.
Yeah.
A company called TF Works.
Mm.
They're out in Chicago. Bunch of OG guys that come from the drift community. They've basically pioneered the K swap at this point for the S chassis.
Dude, this is my another one of my dream cars. S14 red with the boss kit.
Oh, you like that boss kit?
I do,
That's
dude.
Mad Mike's kit. Yeah.
I love that kit, dude.
Yeah, when you're ready, let me know. I know the right
man.
people to talk to.
I don't know, dude.
The boss kit is not for everybody.
I know.
So
I like it though.
So when I see the boss kit on like a standard S14, I'm thinking the boss kit for the FD. That's Mad Mike's kit.
No, I'm thinking
so you're talking about the S14 with
no
the
rear
round
bumper,
headlights and
with
stuff.
the round headlights.
That is an acquired taste.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
personally like it.
Yeah.
But when it's done right with a livery, it looks sick.
I love it.
But I think in single color, it's hard for that car to pull off that vintage look.
Yeah.
With the swoopy roofline.
Yeah.
And the swoopy tail lights, swoopy headlights if you don't do Quirky headlights. The early model has a really round headlight.
Yeah.
Or more round than the really square rectangular ones that the late model had. So you're going to like this round old retro headlight.
Yeah. Or the other kit, I don't even know the name, but where you look at the car and everything is completely straight. So the bumpers and the side skirts, they all match, and the car just looks like hella low. I don't know what kit or whatever that is, but that kit's sick too. But I've always wanted S14. I think that'd be cool, man.
I've got one in the fleet.
Oh shit! I'll trade you a hatch, dude. I got a hatch, so you can build another Honda, bro. That's content right there.
An EG.
Yeah, you can take it, bro. Take it right now and just pay me later. But I loved it, dude.
Don't tempt me.
Go ahead, take it, because my BMW is getting fucking dirty outside, and I just want to park it in the garage. So if anybody wants to buy the Heavy in the Streets EG, let me know.
That's the one.
Dude,
I think
going,
we talked about that last time.
We did. We should talk again, dude. We keep going back and forth, bro, because I'm just like, I have a D-Series swap, and now, gas is crazy and everything. And I'm just like, well, why don't we do a build where it's a D-Series.
Gas guzzler. Or not gas guzzler, anti-gas guzzler.
Exactly. And it's all street legal.
Gas sipper.
So my idea was that I get pulled over and they'll pop the hood. I'll pop the hood, and it's just like, all right, see you later. And it's just all stock. Because like at this point, I really don't care about, speed or power or anything like that. Mostly my motivation was always like cleanliness.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
But then I just start thinking about it. I'm like, I just don't even want to build another car, another Honda.
Yeah.
Honda.
I get that. I totally get that. And I think that's like kind of what's refreshing about the Throtl YouTube channel and getting to work on the cars every day. One, I get to go do something I love every day, which you and I are both fortunate in that. But
sure.
I'm not pigeonholed to any one category of car. I mean, right now we have a FJ Cruiser in the shop.
Oh,
which
shit.
is completely out in left field, right?
Yeah.
Which we're building for one of our VIP members. He won a contest.
And wow.
They shipped his car out here, or his FJ, and we're like doing a full overland build for him.
Dude, that's insane.
And then right next to it, I've got, I've got two cars I can't even mention that are also out in left field that we just recently got that you guys will see coming up. But we've got, the R32. We've got the electric Z that we're building, like the FREK. It's all over the place.
That's
like,
sick, dude.
Which is cool because, like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like excited to go because like I'm not in this trench of like it's the same thing every day.
For sure,
there's no monotony in it whatsoever, which is good.
You always got to have those goals, And my goals have kind of shifted a little bit, but I think I need to bring it back a little bit to the cars. But it's just like another Honda build is not attractive to me at all. And no disrespect.
No.
But I can build.
I feel that.
I can build this car in 5 minutes, explain where I'm going to get every single part, what it's going to look like, and every single aspect of it. Just because, I've been in the industry, in the Honda industry for so long.
Yeah.
So I know who I'm going to go to for this, for that.
Yep.
And it's just not even fun.
It's not a challenge. Yeah.
Exactly. So
it's like doing a puzzle for the second time.
Exactly. So if I was to jump in, like a E30 or S14 or something, bro, we could probably even be developing a lot of new products that would go for that.
100%.
And we'll see. If I get one car out of the way, maybe I could bring another project, and that would be pretty fun.
Well, E30s are going up real fast. So
I know they are.
Even just the base model ones are like 318 or whatever, 328 or like.
I think the one that really the piece of content that really made me attracted to them was when Kith did the collab with the new G80.
Yeah.
And in the they did like a collab video. I don't know if you ever seen it, but it was like in
I
New
haven't seen
York
the
or
video,
something.
no.
It was like a whole group of the E30 M3s just driving around, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking awesome, and that just made me fall in love
The
with it.
E30 is an iconic car because not to get off on a tangent, but when I built a S13 way back in like 2005 or 6, I aspired to make it look like an E30 in that it was a convertible. And the one thing I always loved about the E30 convertibles was how flat the hood was, and then you just had the A-pillar for the windshield, and when the top was down, it literally went from the A-pillar straight back off the trunk. So you just had this cool straight line, and this windshield popped up was all you saw.
Yeah.
And so when I did my S14 or S13 convertible, I did an S14 face on it to really get that square front end, and I already had the really long straight window line and trunk line, and then the A-pillar windshield line when the top was down. I got rid of all. They have like these pillars on the doors. I cut those off with a Sawzall and used coupe door panels and like.
Oh shit.
So I emulated the overall like aesthetic of an E30 on that S chassis because I thought that was the perfect look. I thought BMW nailed it, but I wasn't a BMW guy.
Yeah.
I loved that Nissan, and so I just kind of like took cues from that and put it into my S13 chassis. And to this day, I still think the E30 is one of the sexiest BMWs ever made.
So fucking cool, dude. You've had BMWs though, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of a closet BMW fan. Not as much as you, and not as much as my partner Evan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I've had a few now. My fiance also drives one daily.
What is that?
F chassis. So
okay.
It's a F30. I had an E91 wagon that was dubbed Ric Flair on social media because it was,
I remember that one. It was a white one, right?
white, wide-bodied, slammed on AccuAir, HRE wheels, full build out. It was a really cool car, and I built that as just a kind of a fun daily. But then I sold that to fund another project, and I went back and bought another one. So the car I drove up here is actually an F31 wagon that I recently built on the Throtl YouTube channel. So it was like a one video transformation. They stopped bringing wagons to the States. BMW did. They went all SUV.
Yeah.
So you can't buy a wagon in the States anymore. They stopped them in 18. So I found a very low mile 17 model.
Okay.
And it had all the stuff. Well, most of the stuff I wanted. It wasn't an M Sport package, but it had some of the bits already. So,
you said it's a 17?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a 2017.
Oh, shit.
So they stopped in 18. But I found I was looking for an 18, but I found a 17. It was super low miles. It was spotless. So it's a 4-cylinder turbocharged automatic car, DCT car. I'm not sure how they call the transmissions in these things anymore, but it's not an H pattern. And then I just went ham on it. I probably put as much as I paid for the car into it after I got it to make it look cool and do all the stuff I wanted to do. And I upgraded a lot of the stuff to M performance stuff, and we literally did one video on the car. We took it from stock to what I drove up here today in one video, and it dominated. People loved to see the transformation.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be doing a lot more of those.
And so is that F83?
No, F31.
F31.
So the wagons are always ones.
Oh, okay.
So like my older E90 chassis wagon was an E91.
Okay.
Then the 2s are convertibles. No, sorry. The 2s are coupes. The 3s are convertibles, and then the 4s are sedans.
So if it was an M though,
No. Wow, I really screwed that all up. So let's take the E platform. So
yes.
E90
is the coupe.
And then you had E91 is the wagon. E92 is the 2-door sports car.
Okay.
E93 is convertible.
So the convertible, I forgot about convertible.
The 3 is convertible.
Gotcha.
The 1 is wagon.
wagon.
The 0 is sedan.
Yeah.
And the 2 is the sports car.
So do they have what was it? What would be an F81
so
then, right?
G82 would be an M3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. It carried over into the G platform as well.
No,
the nomenclature.
G80 is an M3.
M3.
I'm pretty sure.
So what's a G? So if there was a G81, that would be the wagon. But there probably is not a G81 in the States. But I heard there is one coming out in Europe.
What do you think about that new grill, dude? The G80.
I'll be honest. I was cruising up with one, a white one
Yeah.
slammed on stock black wheels that must have been pushed out.
Yeah.
It looked pretty mean.
Fucking
I'll be
sick,
honest.
dude.
I hated it at first, and
Yeah.
that happens a lot. And I think that's
course.
going to happen with the new Integra.
Mm.
I think a lot of people are going to hate on it, the styling and the overall appeal of the car. And I think give it a year, give it 2 years. Some fixed up ones start coming out, and
You think so?
And some fixes. I know, like even on that was a G80.
Yeah.
The grill is it's like the tall grill, right?
Yeah.
I think IND or somebody made
For
like
sure.
a split grill, so it like splits it up and makes the bumper complete. So you don't
I
have
think-
this big tall grill.
Yeah, I think other people were even doing actual front bumpers.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But
I saw
kind
a
of
couple.
disguising it, right?
For sure, but I don't know. Right when I first seen it, I think I saw it, and then I saw kind of a rendering that somebody did, and that made me fall in love with it.
They put like the F30 grills or
No,
something.
no. It still had the big like fish mouth grill, but I think that they like put a lip or something. It sharpened it up a lot, and I was like, dude, that looks so good.
Yeah.
And I ever since it came out, I just loved it.
So what turned the page for me was Motul sent me and a couple of the Throtl guys out to Daytona for the 24-hour race, and we were guests of the Ray Hall Letterman I think it's GT3 team. I could be wrong. It's one of the classes, but they race that car, and it's a full race build. Like I'm talking, it doesn't really share anything other than the floor pan with the original car.
Oh wow!
So it's full carbon everything.
Okay.
And it all just like it's like a Lego set. It all just kind of bolts on with these fasteners. And
Oh,
so I got to go in the garage, and they had the thing all blown apart, getting it ready for the race. And I got to go in there. They actually let me take photos and everything because we were planning on maybe doing a project utilizing some of those components. And I was fortunate to get to see it all undressed. Mm-hmm. But man, is it a cool car! And then after that, like seeing it in race trim, kind of changed it for me.
Yeah.
Like now I look at it and I see the potential
for sure
in aesthetic. Not like, ooh, that's ugly.
Yeah.
So I think, if more people could see the race car version, I think they would change their mind a little bit.
Dude, even the interior on it just looks so sick, dude.
The interior is probably the shining star for me. Like, I'm a big interior guy because that's where you spend all your time. I think that's where you should spend most of your money, too, is making the interior what you want, especially on older cars. New cars, they kind of got it figured out.
Yeah.
Like, you literally get these new cars, and they're like, spot on. Like,
for sure.
There's maybe one thing you would change or something, or add a cell phone holder or something. Even now, most of them have
a wireless charger.
Wireless chargers and everything. So the interiors are like so good on those cars. The seats are like they have the pass-through holes in them. And stuff.
So fucking sick, dude. They did what? They went with some funky colors with some of them.
Yeah, the yellow and blue.
Like yellow and blue is really weird.
I saw that.
But like the ones with I'm a fan of the. It's not even red, but the red interior. What is it, like orange something? I forget. Like orange peel.
I don't know the name of it.
Ah.
They always do something where like Evan has a bunch of red interior white BMWs now, and he was calling it like Fox Red or something.
Oh, okay.
They every car like niche has its own nomenclature for all these.
What is it, like the seats, the Vaders?
Yeah, the Vaders. Yes, that's
I think he's just got some of those. Huh? Those look
he
so
did.
good.
And then you just put Fox Red on them. So, but if you're having this conversation with somebody that knows nothing about
the Beluga
BMW,
Blue,
yeah, they have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then that's kind of one of my things too. Like man, dude, I want to build another car. I want to build a BMW so I could just get more into that community. Because right now I feel like, although I do have, this is my second BMW that I have. I haven't really dove into them much, and I'm kind of on the outside looking in. But dude, they're really accepting our products in there like a lot, dude.
Really?
Yeah, like the F80 guys and even the G80 guys.
Well, I
too,
saw
for
those
sure.
kits you're selling, like the engine bay dress up kits and stuff, and I think you sent one over for the Supra that we did a sweepstakes on.
Yeah,
and that was like the final touch for that engine bay. We did intake and stuff like that, and oil caps and all the stuff that's like very traditional. But then that your little bolt and washer kit showed up, and that was kind of like the final like oh, that's what it needed.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
tied it all together.
And that's how I feel too, because the kit's 175 for a BMW. You can't buy anything for 175 that is going to make it stand out.
No,
You know, and
that
that's
cup holder costs more than that.
yeah, you know, for sure. So yeah, they've been adopting the kit so well,
Good.
and I'm stoked on it. And it's really put us into like a cookie cutter genre where you have a Downstar kit, you have the gold wrench caps, you have CSF coolers,
did.
and you have a Venturi intakes.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
Those four.
That's the recipe.
That's the recipe. That's it. And you have that. You pop the hood, and you're like, oh shit. And then you sprinkle a little bit of like performance BMW, maybe some carbon covers or something, and you're set, dude. You're fucking set.
So
and
here we are back at the Honda thing. It just became
for sure.
It just became a complicated Honda.
Yeah, dude. So I'm super stoked on those kits. But the thing is, from E90 up, we're all set. E46 and below, that's when they started using screws. You know, and that screws us, bro. No pun intended. You know, but so.
Nice.
We actually need to get fasteners made with screw thread, but that will fit our washers.
Yes,
and once we do that,
the whole under trays and everything are all held on with those like funky, like big thread pitch screws.
Very weird, dude.
They have a 8mm head on them or 7.
Yeah. So once we do that, then we'll be set for you E30, E36, E46 guys, and that's our plan. But to actually dive into that community, I really hate to be somebody from the outside looking in, even though we do have a BMW.
Don't be.
I just want to be
how you
like
break into new markets.
I want to get into it. I want to build something. I want to know who like the influencers are, and I hate to use that word, but there are the influencers, not the social media, the way of using it, but just like these are the people who've been in the industry, who are kind of the pioneers of it, and I would like to get to know those people because that genre is very fascinating to me, dude.
Yeah. It's funny because, like I was saying earlier, like every niche of car model has its tastemakers. I guess is the best way to put it. And I'm finding that out with a recent purchase of mine. Like it's totally foreign to me, and the car's 6,000 miles away, and I'm trying to spec wheels for it, or I was trying to get an intake for it, and then all you can do is research, and we're lucky to have the internet.
Yeah,
if I was trying to do this 20 years ago or 30 years ago, it would have been much harder.
So let me guess, 6,000 miles from here, Russia. You're getting a car straight from Russia.
No. I will not be going to Russia.
I don't know.
Japan,
dude.
It's like 5,600 miles.
Oh,
I was
my
exaggerating.
God, dude. Yeah. So what are you getting from there?
I picked up a Nissan Stasia.
Okay.
It's called a 260 RS built by Autech. So it's one of 749 ever built.
Oh, wow.
So it's a Series 2, they call it, and they only made like 749 of them. So it's a really cool, unique car. I bought it last year on a whim. I got an R32 GTR and kind of fell in love with the RB motor and the way that car performed and reacted, and all-wheel drive and all-wheel steering and all that. That was a really cool car. But I'm a wagon guy. I love hatchbacks. I love wagons. So, I've known of the Stasia for probably 20 years. It's been around for a long time. But the Series 2, for whatever reason, it was like the 99, 2000 era. That one really just resonated with me. And Nissan manufactured them as an RB25 powered station wagon. And then they delivered this handful of them to Autech, which is basically like a conversion shop, like a custom shop. And Autech took the drivetrain out of Nissan Skyline R33s and bolted them into these wagons.
Okay.
So it's essentially an R33 in a station wagon.
Wow.
So you get the best of both, in my opinion, best of both worlds. You get the powertrain, you get the all-wheel steering, the all-wheel drive, but you get all this luxury of a wagon, and they sported up the interior as well. They got like sport seats, and they got rid of the flip-out cup holders. Like, they made it more sporty than the traditional Stasia wagon or the RS4 or whatever it would be called.
Got you.
In the RB25 trim. So it's a very cool, unique car, and I know I'm getting a little long-winded about it, but I'm very excited about it.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I'm trying to like spec this car for myself to put parts on it But man, it was never available in the States.
Yeah.
There's a handful of them here, because obviously they can't come here till they're 25 years old. Mine can't come over for another 2 years. So I'm storing it in Japan. I'm going to make a trip over there once or twice a year to see it. This will be my first visit to see it because of COVID.
Yeah.
They just opened the country up to visas. So I got a visa. I'm going to go over there. I ordered a bunch of parts off of Yahoo Auction Japan for it. I'm going to go over there and film some episodes for Throtl where I actually mod the wagon. And I'm taking my fiance Courtney with me, and we're going to go tour Japan.
Oh, nice.
In the wagon.
Oh,
So we're literally going to throw our bags in the back and get hotels wherever, grab an Airbnb, whatever, and just go see Mount Fuji and go see the
that is amazing.
all the culture and the gardens and visit some tuner shops and visit Top Rank, who I bought the car from. So it's going to be a really like kind of a bucket list trip. I've been to Japan a number of times, but I've always been working.
I ran into you in Japan.
Yes. Yeah. That last auto salon. That's right. That we were able to go to. So that's right. So I've been there, but I've always been working, and it's always been in January because that's when auto salon is, and that's like the really
freezing.
Yeah, it's the relevant reason for us to go there, right? To check out all the new stuff, and to go there in the middle of summer where it's gonna be really hot is gonna be an experience.
Dude, I'm fucking jealous, bro. Oh my god. You know how much I love Japan and I miss Japan, and you might appreciate this being in YouTube space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what this genre is called, but I'm watching like IRL of somebody just walking around the whole day. No edits, no clips, just walking around.
Is it GoPro footage? Or?
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think it's GoPro, or maybe if they make like really high quality GoPro.
What's the
videos.
point of view? Is it like
it's just a personal point of view, and the videos are maybe like 2 hours long. But sometimes you want to have something on the TV, but you're not really paying attention.
White noise, yeah.
Dude, I'll throw that on in Shibuya, and I'm just watching it, and I'm like, dude, this is so cool. And the other night,
you see some spots you've been?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. So Ash and I are watching it, and I'm like, dude, all right, I hope he turns right. Because
I was there.
Go right.
There's the robot restaurant.
Dude, speaking of robot restaurant, dude, last time, it was 2019 when Ash went with us. And I think that's the
year, yeah.
That's the year, because she's the one that took the picture of us.
That's right, because we saw Ryan. You were with Ryan.
Yeah. So
we should probably insert that picture.
Right here.
Yeah.
That's a little too much editing, Mickey.
Oh, sorry.
But she wanted to go to robot restaurant, and Ryan, he's like, that place sucks. Sometimes if it doesn't catch his attention, he's like, that's whack. I'm like, I don't know. And then she's like, let's just go. I'm like, all right, let's go. Dude, I had so much fucking fun.
So did I. I thought
you went?
Yeah, I went with like TJ and a few other guys that were over there. I thought it was going to be a little, I don't know. I didn't have really high hopes for it.
Yeah.
But man, I left there with a smile on my face.
So
for sure.
fun. Dude.
And then I was like, man, what was this person on when they choreographed this thing? Because this is bizarre.
There's about 13 drugs. For damn sure, bro. But it's just so fascinating how they have all that stuff in that little area.
In the space.
Like if this area right
it's
here.
Kind of like this.
We have just a robot dragon eating somebody coming through. It was just like that.
All while you're having dinner.
It was so cool, bro.
Overpriced dinner at that.
Yeah. I don't think we ate there, dude.
You're better off.
Yeah, we just went to watch the festivities.
You don't go there for the food, for sure.
But it was cool. But yeah, it's I love Japan, man. And
me too.
That's funny because it was just like the other day I was watching it, and me on the outside looking in, and you're like, what are you doing, bro? Why are you watching this? But now I kind of get why the kids watch people play video games.
Yeah. No, for sure, man.
And then I was even thinking, like, man, if somebody was in Japan and they had their services, like, hey, for $50, I'll follow you. Tell me where to go. And
would you do that?
Like, pay for it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be pretty cool, dude.
It'd be a good memory for sure.
For sure. Just telling somebody like, okay, you could go here, walk here. Oh, go inside of there. Let's see. I want to see what the store looks like.
Like total choose your own adventure, walk around.
For sure. Literally have like a headset, have this guy on a headset. And as long as like the stream is clear, like why couldn't that be a business? That's different.
It could be. It'd be really cool.
You're really giving somebody that experience. I mean, there's nothing like being there.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love Japan.
I could see that getting a little awkward too. Like people walking into stuff they shouldn't. walking into.
Well, there's definitely like an underworld.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Japan. You get those feelings sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've been to some. We were just having this discussion the other day. Like, I've been to some really crazy bars there and stuff that, like, if you didn't know a local or someone that had been to that spot before, you'd never find it.
For sure.
They're like under, like literally underground, not underground, like hidden. There are that too, but they're like, you go down flights of stairs and it looks like a janitor closet. And all of a sudden you're inside this little like country bar that's like U.S. style, and they're making these little pizza breads. And
No
stuff
way.
man, and there's just a guy in the corner, like everybody's all cramped up. This one bar I was in, they were eating, you know how they sell those like freeze-dried squid and stuff that you can buy at the corner store, 7-Eleven? They were using lighters, and they were holding the squid, and they would use a lighter and heat it up and eat it. And I've never seen anything like that before.
Oh, wow.
They wanted me to try it, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm good.
That's dope. Yeah, speaking of that, I think it was the last time we went, 2020, Ryan and I went, and we met up with RJ DeVera.
Uh-huh.
And he actually took us to a spot like that. Like, it was a sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
And there's no signage or anything on the door outside. And he just opens his door, and it's a full-ass restaurant. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah, it's so popular they don't even have to advertise.
So crazy. Yeah. That's like the space that you want to get into.
It's a real interesting culture over there, man. Like, if you guys haven't experienced Japan, it doesn't matter where else you've been in the world, it is a unique experience.
Yeah.
I've been a lot of places, and I've been to other Asian countries, and
oh, really?
Nothing compares to Japan.
What's like a runner up for you think?
Yeah, Bangkok was really cool.
Really?
But it was really filthy at the same time. And I'm sure there's, I don't want to be too hard, but I'm sure there's areas that are clean or whatever. But like where I was in downtown, and I wasn't all that impressed. I was impressed by like the sheer amount of humanity and the size of the buildings, and there were a lot of things that were eye-opening. But man, Japan does it, so well. Japan is pretty much spotless.
For sure.
There are places where you see some trash on the ground stuff, but it's not like here in the States or LA. It's probably the cleanest country I've been in. And again, I'm sure it's not perfect, but the things that I've seen in my time there, I've been blown away. The culture of people, how much they care about one another is something that I think Americans could take a lot of notes from. We used to make fun of, well, not me particularly, but people I've heard make fun of, Japanese people on the train wearing masks. Well, now we have COVID in our world, and that's a real thing. But like, people in Japan were wearing masks on the subways and trains long before COVID, and I would hear people make comments about it, like, well, that's stupid. Like, but it isn't because they're protecting themselves; they're protecting the others around them.
Yeah. If
they had a runny nose, or they had a cough, or someone in their family was under the weather, they would wear a mask so that they didn't get others sick.
Yeah.
That's very caring and thoughtful.
For sure.
Like, our society does not do that, or didn't do that. And I always thought that was really admirable.
Yeah.
From a society standpoint.
I definitely agree with you on there, man.
So there's a lot of really cool, like, little things like that I appreciate about Japan that we don't get here in the States, and also cars that we don't get here.
Yeah. And then just their dedication to their work, whatever it is. I've had people when I would go to it was like Cold Stone or something, just to get an ice cream, and they're just putting their all into it, just like singing and just so happy, and it's beautiful. I love it there, man. I would love to spend like a year there. Just find a place, rent it, and you don't even need that much stuff.
A year's a long time.
Yeah, you think so? You think I get tired of it?
Yeah, like say try a month or 3,
a month,
like max, and then decide. Like, if it's for you, then
what if I just never come back? Dude? What happened to
I
that
could see
FREK
that happening.
guy?
I could see that happening. I could be that guy probably. One thing you have to first of all, 7-Eleven is uncomparable over there.
Oh my god, the egg sandwiches are
so
bomb.
The pancake sandwiches.
Oh my god,
all the hot coffee, like the hot coffee vending machines. That, like, literally, you just go in and grab a can of coffee.
The soup. You can get a hot soup on the street,
and then you can't. Eating or drinking on the run is frowned upon. So like, you don't see anybody really on the subways like having a meal.
Yeah.
Like, you don't stop at McDonald's and grab a Big Mac and fries and sit on the train and eat it like Americans do.
Yeah.
Or in the car and stuff. I assume people drink drinks in the cars, but if you look at 90s JDM cars, none of them have cup holders. None of them.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Almost none. Like very few. At least the Supra, the R32, the R33. They have places you can put a drink, but they're not necessarily a cup holder. And so like 7-Eleven has sit downs inside. You notice every 7-Eleven has a little area where like people can go on their lunch break, grab a sandwich, grab a coffee or a drink, and sit and eat. So you're not doing it on the run.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a cultural thing on it. Maybe some of you guys can leave a comment, like if you're familiar, why it's faux pas to like be on the run with food or drink in Japan.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I was aware of it for sure, because when we would go, we would hang out with Yasu from Exceed Japan. Probably with like the earlier trips that we went on, and I think it was Ryan. He was kind of getting me ready for the trip because we'd fly together, and when Ryan and I get together, we just talk forever. We talk for like 8 hours straight, dude, and then watch a movie together. All right, 1, 2, play. I love Ryan, dude. But yeah, he was just giving me a breakdown of like, oh, and you don't do this and you don't do that. But I was like, all right, cool. But like, it's cool, man. I don't want to go there and be an American. I want to go there,
immerse yourself in the culture,
just feel their culture and just live like they do. See, and then looking at through that aspect, you know, I like to skate a lot. I don't know, like how comfortable I would really feel about skating out there,
like grinding on things.
Exactly.
And stuff like that,
yeah, some like ancient stump.
Isn't one of the like really good X Games skaters from Japan?
Oh yeah, Yuto.
Yeah, Yuto.
Yeah, he's the one that won the X Games.
Yeah,
the first ever one. Dude, he's such a fucking beast.
So
bro.
he's got to skate and practice somewhere. So,
but he's always out here.
Oh, is he?
I never see him like post videos.
So he's just
he's
his
fucking up all our
nationality
stuff,
is
dude.
Japanese. He's here messing up our country. I see you, Yuto.
Oh, shout out to him. He's such a fucking beast, dude. Do you know the Hollywood 12?
No.
Okay, so Hollywood High School. There's 2 stair sets that are like iconic.
Okay.
It's a 12 stair, but then it's going down a hill, so the other side is a 16.
I've probably seen it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's really close to Hollywood and Highland, like where like Ripley's Believe It or Not or whatever. It's probably like a block away from there.
Sweet.
But like, he did this sick ass trick down the 16 stair with like a ski mask on, bro. I'm like, oh my god, this dude is such a fucking beast.
And you had no idea who it was, or you did?
No, I knew who it was, but it's just like
Yeah.
that's just such a you can't do that with like, it's like doing a trick with glasses on or something, dude.
That's cool that Hollywood 12 has like a place in skateboarding history. I was so pumped when I first moved to Oceanside, California, because my chick took me down to the beach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this place looks familiar. And I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
And then it all dawned on me that was like the epicenter of Paulo Peralta skate videos way back when I was into skateboarding in the mid 90s. Like,
Got you.
That was like the Oceanside Amphitheater was where they filmed a lot of the tricks, and the staircase that goes down to the Oceanside Pier is like one of the staircases that they were doing these massive jumps off of. And here I was like 25, 30 years later looking at this and going, why does this feel so familiar? And then it dawned on me like, holy crap, this is like famous skate territory.
For sure.
And BMX too.
And yeah, out in your area, there's a lot of like this like core where the skateboarding was built at. You
San
know?
Diego area.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like as much as the, Santa Monica or what have you. A lot of that came from the
kind of a
Oceanside area
similar like feel about both of those spots.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that is on purpose or not. But
I think it's in the culture of California. You know, you talk to like skateboarding and BMXing, it's like in our blood, dude.
Oh, dude, I could go on for hours about this. Like that area is so populated. Like I've seen Tony Hawk at Zoomies like buying shoes for his kid.
Oh shit.
Bucky Elassic has become like a good friend of mine because of cars.
Yeah.
He was somebody that I was playing in video games before I moved out to California, and now he's like got my cell phone number and he's texting me, or like, we talk, and like he comes by the shop and hangs out and works on his car. Like it's just so crazy to think like how far like well, first of all, how famous those skaters have become, and two, like how much real people they are. Like they're just genuine dudes, just like any of us. Like,
Yeah.
but they became so famous from being involved in skateboarding early on, and that's like Bob Harrow in the BMX world. Same thing. He's right in like Cardiff by the Sea, which is right up the street from us. And I see him driving around.
Yeah.
It's just, as a kid, like those were like heroes to me, and now they're right in front of me. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, when we were younger, it was a lot harder to think that you had access to these sort of people.
Yeah,
you know,
they're like superheroes at that point.
Oh,
in your
for
life,
sure.
Right?
As much as car guys like to say, you know, Fast and Furious got me into cars, a lot of people say that. Like, Tony Hawk Pro Skater has an impact on probably most people that are watching this.
I'm not even a video game guy, but I definitely played that game. That was the one I was referring to.
And the soundtrack on it, dude, like, come on, bro. And then, dude, I feel the same way, bro. It's like, now I'm skating with some of these guys, and it's like, I try to hide that excitement because I don't want to be a nerd, you know? But I'm like, yo,
I've definitely
Andrew Reynolds, right?
I've definitely fanboyed around Bucky a few times. He showed up at our shop one day with a Powell Peralta coffee mug, and I was like, yeah, that's so cool, dude. Like, he's like, oh yeah, he's obviously like friends with the owners.
Yeah,
like, they've been making boards for him for as long as I've been alive.
It's dope, man. So since you're in this sort of space where you do get recognized, and you're starting to meet people that maybe you didn't think you would ever meet, like, who's somebody that sticks out to you that you've met and you were really surprised and honored to meet them?
Well, definitely Bucky. I think one thing that people, like I said, we as humans, we put people we look up to on pedestals, and there's always been the saying, never meet your heroes,
for sure,
because you're probably going to be disappointed. And I would say I've been pretty lucky, because all the people that I've looked up to that I've actually had the opportunity to meet have all been very cool and exactly who I expected them to be. There's only been maybe one or two that's been like, that was a letdown.
Yeah.
But like, you know, John Force is one of them. John Force is, you know, I think 16-time NHRA world champion or more now at this point. And through some of the relationships that we've built at Throtl, you know, we're partners with his same sponsors. They bring us out to the race. We're in his trailer, like eating lunch with them and like having jokes with them and stuff. And he's one of those guys that I never thought I would get to meet. I mean, he's quite a bit older than me. He's very established, and he's built an empire for himself. So, you know, what grounds would we ever have to meet one another? And so I'm fortunate to have met him, and he lived up to all the hype that I had for him, and then some. To be honest, he is everything you see on TV and more in person. Yeah. And so like him and Bucky, I think really, not only did I look up to them, I still do, and I aspire to be a good human like they are, and a good ambassador to whatever sport or whatever I'm into, for others around me, to try to be passionate about it, show that passion, and be a good human being to those people that look up to, if they look up to me or whoever. Like, I want to be a good steward.
Yeah, that was my next my next question, dude, is like, now you're in that space, and now, you know, millions of people are watching you almost daily. Like, what's that like?
You know, it's, yeah, man, a lot's changed since I was here last time. I mean, we've grown probably 1 million subscribers since then.
It might have been like 600K at that time.
Yeah, because we're almost at 2 million now. Man, I'll be honest, dude, like, getting recognized is an awkward thing. It happened to me just the other day. I was in a surf shop buying some shorts, and some kid came up to me. He's like, he worked there, and he's like, man, you look familiar. What are you from YouTube? And he recognized it was YouTube. But so I had a small chat with him, and I don't want any notoriety for that stuff. In fact, I stayed off camera for the longest time. Took my partners telling me like, hey, we really need to get into this space. This was 5 years ago now. We need you to man up and get on the camera. And so it was really hard for me. I don't want the level of notoriety that comes with that, and the pressure that comes along with it as well, because there's a lot. And I think a lot of people don't, until you get there, you don't realize that there is so much pressure that goes along with with that. I mean, now I have to think about when I leave the house, like, am I presentable? Did I comb my hair? You know, you have to think about all those things, because you never know when someone that looks up to you or aspires to be in your shoes is going to see you and want to talk, and you don't want to look like you don't take care of yourself. You don't, or, you know, or you feel uncomfortable, so you shy away from the interaction with the person, and that could ruin them.
Yeah.
You know, like, I had these high hopes for John Force, and he came through with flying colors. I want to be John Force.
Got you.
I want to be the person that, you know, I don't thrive off the notoriety, but if I do get noticed, I want to be able to have an intelligent conversation, encourage that person to chase their dreams, or, you know, wherever that conversation goes, I want to be positive.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot that goes along with that, and it is a little daunting. But I think, you know, just staying grounded and being appreciative of opportunities that have been given is very important. I think that helps you stay humble as well.
Yeah. Some things that you hear from about like YouTubers is that it's a lot of you know, fake personality, and they're attracted to that lifestyle that you're saying that, you know, you're not really that interested in.
No, I think you know, a lot of YouTubers start out with the admiration of becoming famous. So I think you're right in that. I didn't go after it for that reason. I went after it from a business standpoint.
Gotcha.
It was imperative that I got in front of the camera in order for our business to grow and market. So I didn't really have a choice. It was like, you either do this or you don't. And so Evan and Rick, my partners, actually really pushed for me to do it. But I do see, you know, people taking advantage of the YouTube space to get some, you know, notoriety or ability to be like semi-famous or whatever, however you want to call it. So it can be, you know, double-sided.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I know that you always get the question a lot, like, I want to be a YouTuber. What should I do? You know, and
it's the most common question.
It's got to be. And I was actually talking to somebody not long ago, and he's like, yeah, I just got to work on my YouTube personality. And to me, that's kind of like,
well, no,
a red flag.
You should be working on.
You should work on like
on your YouTubing.
Yeah, for sure. Like the way that I see it is, there's like almost 8 billion people on this earth. Like you're unique to you. Why would you want to have a personality of somebody else? But then I see it like they want to. Is that because they want to just grow quicker, or?
Well, I think, you know, there is no persona. Like, I think you can tell by watching the Throtl YouTube channel that I'm exactly the person,
for sure,
sitting here as I am on camera.
Yeah.
And I strive for that every day. There are others that I'm around that have a different switch that they flick when the record button goes on, and it's obvious. You can tell. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, some people need to have that little injection of camera in their face, or whether it be caffeine or something to kind of ramp up their excitement level, because nobody wants to watch a boring YouTuber. Like, you know, if you just stand there and talk about what you're doing and you use this same monotone voice the whole time and you never change it, and just no influctuation of ups or downs or anything like that, you're not going to watch. You're not going to stick around. So there is some level of like, okay, I need to gear this up a little bit. My voice needs to come up and down. I need to do interesting things so that people stay engaged and want to watch the channel. But that can be contrived and come off as fake, you know, to some people or to a lot of people. And so I think, you know, for me particularly, I try to be myself, but I also try to be interesting, I guess is the best way to put it. Some people struggle with that, and, you know, maybe they're not cut out for YouTube. But there are a lot of YouTubers that I see in person, and they're really over here, but on camera they're over here. And so what do you get when you're just having a conversation? You're getting this person over here. So then when you watch them on YouTube, you're like, who is this?
Yeah.
What am I seeing right now?
Yeah.
This is not real.
Yeah.
So you definitely, like, you know, I definitely think there's a mentality that you have to have, and You have to be exciting, but not overdone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's just the culture of YouTubers, and if the culture did change?
It's our culture in general, and I think TikTok, I think Instagram, and all these live social platforms are really influencing how people want to be perceived or seen, whether it be on YouTube or on TikTok, Instagram. And so that's where sort of a lot of the fakeness is coming from. Is like you want to be on all the time. You need to be exciting so that people want to watch you and share your videos.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a good judge of character, you can kind of see through that stuff pretty much straight away.
Have you ever met somebody who has a successful channel, and then the person that they were in person was like a lot better than the person that they perceive, and you're just like, man, if you were that person, like, your channel would be killing it even more?
Yeah, I can think of one right off the top of my head. Absolutely. I think they're a better person in person than they are on camera, but they don't realize it. And so, what the majority gets from that person is not actually who they are. And I think people would appreciate their actual person over their YouTube persona.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's many like that. But I can think of one person off the top of my head straight away. Like, I know them intimately, and I think that person is a much better person when I'm face to face than they are on camera, because what you're getting on camera is not always real.
Yeah.
You're getting something that is a hook so that you stay and watch.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll ever change,
I don't think so. I think it's going to get worse.
Really?
I mean, man, our society is so screwed up with TikTok and Instagram and YouTube now. Like, everybody, all they care about is clicks and likes and shares. And, how exposed can I be?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to get to a point where it's just too much.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for the youth of today.
Oh my God, dude. Seriously.
They're exposed to so much more than I ever was. Now I'm a little bit older, but like, I'll be 46 this year, and I didn't get social media till I was in my probably mid to late 20s. So I think I was pretty mature for when it came about. But man, I couldn't imagine being like 8 or 10 when all this stuff came out, and having to live through my teens and those insecure years where everything is on blast.
My son's in the middle of it.
He is
now. Christian's 15, and he doesn't like to post anything. And when he does post something, it'll be on his feed. If you guys check him out, Life of C2. If you check him out on Instagram, maybe he'll have one video up, and then he'll archive it later. And I'm just like, from my point of view, from a dad, from someone who wants to see him succeed in skateboarding, like, dude, you're screwing yourself, bro. Like, people need to see your clips when they find your Instagram so they can see what you're doing, but then looking at it through his point of view, I get it, and I don't know how many people are telling him at school, like judging him at school, but oh man, I'm sure so many people are,
I mean, I remember the peer pressure from back when I was in junior high.
Without social media.
Without social media. It was like,
imagine it now.
What clothes are you wearing? What shoes do you got? What skateboard do you ride? What BMX bike do you have? What car did you buy? Or what car did your parents buy you? And, man, then you just take all that and put it under a magnifying glass of social media.
Yeah.
Like, the pressure has to be crazy. And I just don't, I don't know how this generation is dealing with it.
Yeah. It is crazy, man, and I really feel for him. And sometimes I just got to take a step back, be like, yo, this is a different day and age that they're growing up in.
Yeah, and I think we can probably learn from them a little bit too, from some aspects of it. But I definitely don't. I'm glad I didn't have to grow up in this day and age, and I'm glad I'm a little. We were early to the YouTube game as far as the Throtl goes. We got involved as a YouTube channel and using it as marketing very early on, so we kind of like grew with it.
Yeah.
Whereas if we were to start today, I think it would be a lot harder.
Yeah.
And a lot, a lot more to learn, because we learned as we went, right? So that wasn't like a super steep learning curve. We were like pick up from zero today. what an uphill battle it would be.
Yeah.
I have creators reach out to me all the time and say, how did you guys get where you are? And it's like, well, we worked our asses off. That's how we got here. And that's almost always the answer, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You didn't build this bolt business overnight. To some people, it may look like that.
Yeah. We've heard it.
Yeah.
They say, oh, you guys blew up. I was like, yeah, it only took 12 years.
Right. So, and that's like, YouTube's the same way. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I have creators that have reached out and said, man, I've been doing this for 2 years and I only have 3,000 followers or subscribers. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's where we were. That's exactly what we did. And you just have to be consistent. And you can't take a month or two off. You have to go in knowing that it's a day job, basically, and that you may not get paid for a while, for a long time. I mean, we probably didn't make any revenue off of YouTube for the first few years that we were in it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't our main business. We were doing YouTube to supplement our business, to use it as a marketing tool.
Yeah.
The business was running. So if you're going into YouTube thinking you're just going to start a channel and it's going to pop off overnight, that ain't the case. It doesn't work like that.
You got to fucking just dive into it.
You got to want it, man.
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't make it easy. And if you're not consistent, you'll never see revenue.
So did you notice that the views were getting, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and it just grew like that? Or did you hit some sort of spurts that, okay, now we're in this level. Now we're in this level?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a constant growth for our channel. We've been fortunate because we did start so early, which was great. And it was one of the smartest things we did. But the growth has been very consistent for us. We don't really do like the spikes.
Gotcha.
We're constantly looking at the algorithm and how to change what we're doing to keep up, to keep going with the trajectory that we're on. And, by the end of the year, we're hoping to hit 2 million subscribers, which is, dude, to me, is insane. I mean, we hit 1 million, and I thought that was a milestone. But 2 million? And we're doing it faster than we got to the 1 million.
Wow.
So the growth is there, and, obviously people are very into cars. So we're in the right genre. We're doing some cool stuff, and I feel fortunate to even be involved with it because I get to do something I love every day. And it gets documented.
Yeah.
I can go back in 10 years and be like, yo, remember when we built that Civic? Check this out. And I can go back and rewatch it all. It's so cool. It's like documenting your whole life.
I like to look at it as like time travel, because when you watch these videos, it's not that you're just watching what happened. You literally get into that feeling that you were in that moment, day and where your life was at that moment. And those are a lot of things that maybe if your parents weren't into video, like home videos or pictures or things like that, like, bro, a lot of my childhood, I don't know what the hell happened,
I know.
Because we just don't have any memories. And then my daughter, I have pretty much every single day she's been alive for the last year and a half. So she could be like, oh, what did I do when I was 1 and 2 months?
Oh, here, let me show you.
Here. This, babe, show your side of it. Christian, show your side of it. And she's going to have everything.
It's so cool. I see like my friends having kids and stuff, and like they'll have a baby and it'll have an Instagram page. Yeah. Like within its first few months of being alive. And that's cool because it allows the family to kind of get an update on the child, which is cool. But man, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, what if when they're 20, they want to go back and, I've had this Instagram page since I was born. Essentially,
so crazy.
So your whole life is documented for the world to look at, which can also be perceived.
Depends on kind of
weird
you
too.
Look
but
at
like,
it.
I never had that. We had photo albums, but man, like you said, how often did the folks get out the Polaroid or a camera that actually took film that you had to have developed and then wait for, and did those pictures ever make it into the album, or did they just get put away and lost or thrown away? Like not all of, but a lot of our childhood memories are probably lost because of that. So yeah, it's definitely a special time right now.
Yeah.
And there's, as we've discussed, goods and bads, I think, of it. But it would be neat to have a full cataloged history of my life in front of me.
My memory sucks. I don't really know if things that I think about really happened.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I just made them up.
I've been playing ice hockey since I was 3 years old. I've had probably 7 or 8 concussions at this point. My memory is shot. I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday half the time.
Shit. Do you ever get afraid of like CTE?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I would bet money I have it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I've been punched in the face so many times, knocked down where I get up and all I see is stars or don't get up. Like, that's some scary stuff, man.
Damn.
And you don't know, like, you know, as a human, like, you're inside yourself, you don't know, like, should I remember that? Or is it normal to forget that? Like, it's tough. Like,
yeah. How do you know? How do you know? I don't know how other people's brain works, so I don't know if my brain's working right or is wrong.
Yeah.
I'll be forgetting a lot of shit sometimes.
Well, a lot of that's just age, dog.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, it's scary shit, man. And like, you know, I think sometimes we kind of we look at professional sports athletes, especially contact sports athletes, football, hockey, boxing, MMA, and oh man, that dude made $40 million. I was like, yeah, but his brain might be scrambled.
Yeah,
and that's sad.
For sure. Was it Muhammad Ali, right?
Muhammad Ali, Junior Seau, killed himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Because of CTE. Like,
what is the Dave Mira?
Mira, same thing. So it's scary. And so, you know, I don't mean to take anything away from other contact sports. You know, obviously Mira was a BMX guy, and I'm sure he had his fair share of falls and concussions. It's scary, man. Like, it's a reality that anybody that's played a contact sports deal with. Skateboarding, falling all the time. I'm sure you hit your head.
Yeah.
You know, helmets are great, but they're not perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's scary, dude. I don't really want to get off on a tangent, but like,
that's all good, dude. When you have, if you do have kids in the future, are you gonna want them to play hockey?
Hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what, like, I think we said this in the first podcast, but most people that are watching this or listening to this see me as a car guy, but I'm actually a hockey guy that is into cars. Like, hockey is my first ice hockey is my first passion and love, and I've been skating since I was 15 months old. Like, I was skating literally the minute I could walk, and my mom had me on skate. I still have my first skates in a shadow box hanging up there like this big.
Oh, no way.
And it is the one thing that I'm the most passionate about, like you are with skateboarding, is how I am with ice hockey. Like, I have all the current gear, and like I play multiple times a week, and it's the one thing that if I lived for anything outside of my relationship with my significant other, it's hockey. And then cars.
Yeah.
So
cars come.
You see how passionate I am about cars. Now imagine that double.
Yeah.
For something else.
You ever think about taking that into like a YouTube space?
Hockey?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
There's that's my private time, man.
For sure.
Like, a lot of other YouTubers that play hockey, you'll see them do social media posts from the rink and stuff. And if you go back through my feed, you'll probably see a handful of pictures of me playing hockey. It's like, when I go there, that's my off time. That's I turn everything off and I just go have fun. And it's weird now because I play a pretty aggressive game, or at least I used to. And I like to mix it up and stuff and chirp on the ice, you know, talk shit and have fun. And I can't really do that anymore because of what we've built on YouTube. So I get recognized on the ice now. And if I'm a dick or I run somebody over, it's not a good look, right? So I have to be cognizant of that.
You mean from people watching, spectators, or like people that you're playing?
People on the ice.
Really?
Yeah. So
you
would
think that's like part of the culture.
It is, man. But like, when you get, especially to get to my age, I'm mid 40s, and they don't really have checking hockey anymore. So it's kind of like transitioning from fast pitch baseball to slow pitch softball. It's not that drastic. I mean, the game is still fast. You're still taking slap shots. You're still running into people, but you're not like really fighting anymore. Like, you're not like choreographed, dropping the gloves, getting after it. Like, it's a step back, but some guys still keep the level up here, so it does get chippy and shit happens. But like, it's not as like when you go watch an NHL or an AHL hockey game, like, you know, something happens on the ice, the enforcer goes out and he handles it, fist fight happens, that message is sent, and they basically start over, or it carries on. Another fight will happen. In hockey, I always try to explain to people that there's a game inside a game that happens on the ice. And if you're not a hockey player, you don't understand the game, you don't really know what's happening the other game that's going on out there is an intimidation game. And so most teams used to, and some to this day still do, have a guy that's like an enforcer. That his whole job is to go on the ice and handle business. Either get in a fight and take care of something that happened to one of the superstars, like maybe got checked from behind or slashed or something. The coach will send the enforcer out, and he'll go find that guy that did it, and he'll beat the crap out of him, basically. That's the game in the game. And so it's kind of like whoever has the nastiest enforcer is going to come out ahead, because you're not going to take liberties on that team's superstars, and they're going to have the open ice they need to score goals or make plays.
Gotcha.
So this whole game inside the game of ice hockey is actually really cool, and is actually probably more exciting than the game itself.
When's the last time that you got in a fight on the ice?
It's been years.
Really?
Yeah.
You miss it?
Yeah.
What about...
I like to fight.
Yeah? How about outside? Have you fought anybody?
Nah, not really.
No?
Not that I can talk about.
Hell yeah. We'll talk after.
I mean, shit happens, when you're young, you're at the bar and stuff, and plenty of scuffles and stuff like that, but nothing where I ended up in handcuffs and hauled off to jail or nothing.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Yeah. For being stupid.
Yeah.
Doing dumb shit. TPing houses and stuff like that.
You got arrested for that? What the hell?
Man, that was a lifetime ago, brother.
Oh, it was Ohio?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, I've had my license suspended. I've done some really dumb shit when I was in my late teens and early 20s, and stuff that you look back and it's like, it was stupid. Like, why did you do that? That was really dumb.
For the memory.
But you learn, and carry on. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I learned was don't do dumb shit in cars, because it's one thing to like put yourself at risk, but it's another thing to put everyone else around you at risk. So like, I've seen some bad shit happen. I had some friends die in high school from just driving too fast on a back road, lost control, and killed, everyone in the car. And it's like, I learned from that lesson a long time ago. It's like, dude, we have racetracks, we have these places you can go and do this stuff, and not jeopardize your friends' lives or anyone else around you, friend or not.
Yeah.
So like, those are the types of things, like, I don't screw around with that stuff, man. Like, I learned that lesson a long time ago.
Which is good, man. And, we've all been through that before. And look back at it.
I think everybody experiences it at some point. Yeah.
So it's hard to tell somebody, like, don't, but just don't.
Yeah,
just don't.
Well, and the other thing, too, is, like, you're around cars every day like we are. You get calloused to that. Like, people try to impress you, like, by doing something in a car. It's like, dude, that doesn't impress. It's not impressive. Yeah. Like, people have been doing that on the racetrack, drifting event stuff for years and years and years. Like, I've seen it a million times. I don't need you to just show me on the street.
Yeah,
because you look like a fool. You're gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, just sometimes that judgment gets a little clouded when somebody pulls up next to you and is like, "What's up?" with them. It's like, sometimes when I do get caught up in that, like, when that thought comes into my head, like, yo, bro, you need to slow down. Like, you got a family. Like, that's usually it kicks in. Yeah,
that's a realization that I've never had, because I don't have children, or, like, I'm not married.
Yeah.
I have a significant other, which, I would hate to leave her. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm really, like, I'm pretty proactive about keeping that shit off the streets, man. Yeah. Like, I try to participate in any activities that fight against the takeovers and street racing and that shit. So.
For sure. So you would never go to a takeover?
No.
You don't see any enjoyment in it?
No.
What is that in me that I just see it and I'm just like, I would just want to watch? Why do I like chaos?
It's like watching a train wreck, dude.
Right?
Like, I get it. I understand. I don't understand. I do and I don't. Like, it's like a train wreck. This is the best way to put it. Is like, it's hard to turn away and not watch, because shit's gonna happen. But like, shit's gonna happen. So I don't want to be involved in that, man. I don't want to get taken out or take somebody out. Like, I would feel terrible.
I think the closest that I've been to that is like a Krispy Kreme meet. You ever been to those?
No.
Krispy Kreme Tuesdays? You
No.
never? Oh, maybe that's just more of this area. But the Krispy Kreme in Burbank,
I
they
love
started
Krispy
doing.
Kreme.
Oh, dude, me too. They started doing like pop-up meets.
Okay.
Just like they They yeah, like a pop-up meet or whatever. Hey, we're all meeting, and
Yeah.
it just became like a culture thing.
Okay.
So fucking huge. And one of the last ones that I went to, I remember standing on top of like the little house that the dumpsters are in.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on the roof watching donuts and burnouts and everything.
Probably
I'm like,
the safest place you could
this
be.
is crazy. So that's probably that Frank's still in me that would be like, damn, I want to go to a takeover and just watch from far. But then I'm like, fuck no, dude.
Man.
Hell no.
Just go to the next drifting event, Formula D, amateur.
Will they let me
Go
drive?
rent the track, dude. You can rent Apple Valley for a couple $100 for a whole day and go just
blow your shit up.
to your heart's content, brother. and there's no chance of hurting anybody but yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
And I can live with that. If I hurt myself, it's one thing. But man, if I hurt somebody else, I would never live it down.
For sure, dude.
So I couldn't live with myself.
Bro, I've seen one. My buddy Jay sent me a video where they're. I don't know. I think this is the thing of takeovers is they're getting more and more outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody doing a haircut, giving someone a haircut in the middle, and people.
Get out.
I swear to God.
Tell me this is on social media.
It is. Somebody tag Mickey in the video.
This is a fucked up world we live in, bro.
He's getting.
Nah, please don't tag me.
He's getting an Edgar, dude. They're giving him the Edgar, and they're fucking just doing burnouts around.
Tell you he fall out of
dude.
the car or something good?
No, I don't know what happened after that.
It
But
seems like every one of those videos, somebody's getting run over or falls out of a car.
I've probably seen at least 10 people.
Or are those
die
the only
on
ones
those
that
videos.
make the
Probably.
cut?
I'm sure they go on every single night, and just the most viral ones.
Like I was saying, this is
Cool.
a fucked up world.
It's crazy, man. But I mean, whatever goes viral, you know, I think that's what people are on.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite viral videos as of late was that flying Tesla, dude. That video, dude, that's the craziest shit.
The minute I woke up to... You gotta understand, when you're in the space that we live in, like on YouTube and stuff,
Yeah.
everybody thinks they're your friend, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. So I get DMs from stacks of DMs from people, and it's usually when something like that happens, I get flooded with, "Did you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta check this out," or you know, whatever. Somebody made a fake Throtl account and they're trying to get our credit card number. So
gotcha.
I get flooded with all this stuff. So I have to like filter through. But man, when that car went over that hill, I must have got 600 DMs.
No
Like,
shit.
bro, you gotta see this. And like a lot of people out there in the world think that every YouTuber is friends with every YouTuber.
Got you.
And so I don't know Alex.
Yeah.
I've never met him. So I don't judge people until I meet them and make my own decision. But that was fucking stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if he had any involvement at all. It seemed like he
Well,
did.
it was his meat. I don't know who they from what it looked like or what he was saying was the car was rented from Toro,
God, are you
and
serious?
the guys he had no idea who the guys were because it was just a Tesla meet that he threw.
Goes to show how in tune I am.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what the fuck really happened? And of course, after that video comes out, maybe in the heat of it, you're just like, that was so fucking cool. But after that, you're probably having so many problems arise that your lawyer's probably like, yo, you need to get as far away from this shit
Lay low.
as possible. But that was insane, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being in the seat of that car. I mean, that's a hell of an impact.
For sure, dude.
Those cars aren't light.
And there was a cat in there. They found a cat
In the car?
like a stray cat. They found it. The guys who jumped the Tesla, and they had the cat inside the car with them when.
And you're telling me this wasn't a social media stunt?
It was a stunt for damn sure, dude.
Well, at least now we can sit back and laugh about it.
For sure, right? Have you guys ever went viral for a reason that you weren't happy about?
No. We don't really shoot content to attempt to be viral. If it happens, cool, and hopefully it's something like upstanding, because I wouldn't want to. I'm totally not that guy.
Yeah.
We see YouTube and doing social media as a means to an end for our business. Of course, viral content will drive sales for car parts or merchandise, but like that's not our motivation whatsoever. So of course we want to make exciting content. If it goes viral, great, but it's never going to be some silly stunt or clickbait crap that you see so often. I think we're a little more pure than that.
Yeah, for sure.
And for better or worse, you can look at that and those guys are lame because they don't chase that shit. But
I mean, I guess it just depends on your end goal, and then you just everything you're doing is towards that.
Our YouTube channel is strictly a marketing tool to basically promote the business, promote us as individuals, car builders, and the hobby, and to essentially sell and bring awareness to the car parts and merchandise that we sell and the sweepstakes that we do. So you can understand where we have to kind of toe the line too. When you start pushing it too far, it can become contrived and then you start losing following, and that's what we don't want. So.
Yeah. So with all of the social media platforms out there, minus YouTube, what do you feel is the next most important one for content creators watching now?
Oh man, so it's weird because like for sports, I feel like Twitter is still like really relevant. Like I follow a lot of the NHL hockey teams, and I get all of my good information from Twitter.
Gotcha. About
trades and re-signings and salaries and all that stuff. For content creators, I definitely, YouTube's where it's at, but Instagram is still the king, I think. We utilize TikTok quite a bit, and we have, one of our staff members that's his whole job is essentially creating TikTok and Reels for Instagram. So I kind of look at, Instagram's kind of hedging towards TikTok, or is not even hedging. I think they're basically bigger, so they're like encroaching on TikTok's model. So that's why Reels have become so popular, and why you're getting rewarded for doing Reels over stories or feed posts. But I think TikTok is I'm not that involved with it. I have a TikTok account, but I don't post on TikTok. I only focus on Instagram and our YouTube channel. So for me, it's hard to say like TikTok is gaining traction or losing traction because I don't spend time on there.
Got you.
I see the value in it from our business's standpoint. I don't see the value in it from my personal standpoint. Again, I'm not trying to grow my personal Instagram and stuff to build a brand.
Okay, sure.
I'm Throtl. I'm Mickey from Throtl, and I grow the Throtl brand. That's
for sure. I get you.
Because that's my business.
I think that's kind of the way that I've been looking at it as of late. Although I am Downstar.
Yeah. Well, that's where it kind of is a blurry line.
It is, and the like the way you have to be on social media for your whatever your channel or for your personal Instagram or what have you to grow, it's more than I'm willing to put into it at the moment. Yep. So if you go to my personal Instagram, maybe I'll post on the story every once in a while, and it posts every like every week or so. But that's just because it's just too taxing, bro.
It's too much.
It's too much, and the value I don't feel is really there for me personally
to grow your personal brand.
My personal brand.
Yeah, the onus is on growing your business.
Exactly.
And that's the same way I feel. I obviously post on Instagram. I try to post as much as I can, but I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my early 30s. My focus is not to be the most popular person on social media. I could honestly care less.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for the Throtl YouTube channel, I would have just probably been tinkering on Instagram and stuff. But it is important for us to have a presence as an individual, so that it brings validity to what we're putting out on YouTube. So again, we're using these social media platforms as a catalyst for the business. It's not a cash grab. It's not a popularity contest. None of that stuff.
Yeah. For you guys.
For us. Yeah. I mean, every business is different. Every person is different. And there's plenty of people I know that make their whole living off of Instagram.
Yeah.
Or TikTok, or all of them combined.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just get sucked into it, especially you have like a good day or something.
Yeah.
And then you want to just keep it going. And
feed the beast.
And then it just keeps going and going. And then
Where do you draw the
It's
line?
like, fuck, dude, this is too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I'm sure your visitors here get the gist. I'm a pretty private person, and what you see on YouTube is a very small portion of my life. I don't post a lot of personal stuff on my Instagram. Even like, I feel like we need to have that space of private life versus what the world sees. And you know, you won't see even a lot of pictures of even my significant other in my Instagram, just because that's my private life.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's near and dear and close to my heart, and I don't feel like I need to be pushing that in everybody's face all the time. Like, car builds, that's another story. People love to see car builds, so most of my content is going to be stuff that I've built or worked on, or something I'm proud of. It's not to say I'm not proud of my girl, or I'm not proud of what I did at hockey last week or whatever. Like, I am.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel like the world needs to know that.
Got you.
So maybe I'm weird, but I don't know.
Just different generations, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I like to have a private life. I don't need everybody in the world to know everything about me. That's okay. But
Yeah.
they don't, you know?
So what is something that the world doesn't know about you? Maybe you could give us just a little morsel, bro. Something that like represents Mickey.
Hockey. I mean, that's the one morsel I think I've already given you guys. That's
Do you still have all your teeth?
Yeah. Yeah. They're all here. They're
unclip?
in parts and stuff. But
Oh.
yeah. No, I don't have any flappers. A bunch of my buddies have the 1, 2, 3 teeth flappers, but my front teeth are halves and parts. You can see if I smile and you look close, you'll see lines and stuff where they've been snapped off and rebuilt.
Would you ever get just a whole new grill, bro?
I'm not that vain.
No,
I'm not that vain, man. Like, as long as I can chew food and I'm not in pain, and that my teeth aren't yellow, like, hygiene's important, so I take care of my teeth. But I'm not like, I don't need to go get full veneers or nothing like that. Some people are like super vain about that stuff.
You're a simple man, Mickey.
I kind of am.
Give us something, dude. What's your?
I'm a homebody.
Oh, really?
That's one thing a lot of people don't know. If I could just close my front door and be left alone, like to watch videos or just to even do like a crossword puzzle or surf for Japanese car parts on Yahoo auctions, like, I'm just as happy just sitting there listening to music and being by myself as I am like on the YouTube channel. Like, I'm pretty happy, like, just to be left alone.
I feel you. I feel you on that, dude. Yeah, sometimes I'll just get a piece of paper and like my favorite pen is that Pilot pen.
Oh,
the
yeah.
one where it has you can see the ink in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that pen, dude. And I'll just draw. And that's it. I'll just draw or, just do something. I don't need to be like super stimulated all the time. Read a book or something like that.
I put on some lo-fi on Spotify, and so I read. Very rarely do I actually read books, but if I do, it's usually a book about like hockey stories, locker room stories from like the Stanley Cup finals, or like there's always like the backstory behind stuff. I like to read like the recaps on that stuff from the players' point of view, like real life shit, like, oh yeah, we won the Stanley Cup and then we took it in the pool that night and drank beers out of it. And,
oh, sick.
Like all the behind the scenes that
sure.
you wouldn't get if you weren't part of the team. So that stuff interests me. One really weird thing about me that a lot of people don't know is like, I think I'm addicted to buying brochures and toys of the cars that I build. I have a whole collection in one of my closets of like the factory manuals and like the dealership brochures of almost every car I've built.
Really?
So in fact, one of the cars I have right now that I'm building it's not on our YouTube channel, it's barely on my Instagram. I have an RX-7 RZ. It's a very limited production car. I think 1,500 were made. I have all the brochures and all the factory optional manuals and stuff I collect.
That's awesome.
And it's like stuff that like it only makes me happy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even that like the books are valuable to me. It's just more of like a checkbox of like, I have this special car and I have all the brochures for it. And the RZ is actually going to be a catalog car. So what I think what motivates me is the thrill of the hunt. of actually trying
For
to
sure.
find all this shit that's 30 years old that probably barely exists anymore because it's worn out, broken, thrown away, whatever. The RZ actually has like every factory option from the catalog.
Mm.
And I've hunted all those pieces
Wow.
and got them shipped from Japan, or some of the stuff came from New Zealand, Australia. Like, just finding these pieces and acquiring them in good condition that's usable and putting them on the car. So when I sell this RZ, it's literally going to come with all of that stuff plus the books. And like,
Yeah.
to me, that's like a really cool thing about a car when you buy it. If you get all that shit, the one thing I'm missing is the window sticker. And so I think window stickers are like the holy grail of
Oh, okay. What
Of
is
a
it called?
car.
Like a Maroni or something like that?
I don't know.
Like the one that says breakdown of all the prices.
The one that's on the glass door window when
Yeah.
you buy the car.
I
Like,
think that's what it's called.
whenever I've bought a new car, I've always, had the dealer either take that off and put it in the glove box, or I scrape it off myself, fold it up, and put it in the glove box
Yeah.
in the manual. Some of these cars that I'm buying now from the 90s, I wish I had that as like the complete kit. Like, here's your factory service manual. Here's all the brochures that were available at the dealer that year that car was available.
Oh shit.
And here's the window sticker. And these are all the upgrades that I've found and put on the car, and they're right here in the book. Like, I recently got a set of, I've only ever seen 2 sets of these wheels for the Mazda RX-7. It's an optional wheel made by this company called MagTech. It's a 16-inch wheel, full magnesium construction, and the spoke design is actually rotors.
Oh wow.
So I actually found a set. They're on the cover of the catalog on a black RZ. So that was when I was like, I'm building this car. I went on the hunt for these wheels, and I found them,
Wow.
and I got them.
That's awesome,
So
dude.
that's a weird tidbit about me.
Okay.
And
We got one, guys.
it comes down to like a lot of what people see on our YouTube channel that people call Mickey spec, which is like taking something to the nth degree and tweaking out on it, like whether it's paint or it's fabrication or whatever.
Just
like,
attention to detail.
I just like things to be just so, and to me that's normal.
Mm.
But to most people, apparently, it is not normal,
Yeah.
because I hear it all the time. So I don't know. It's just a tidbit that, like, most people that aren't in my life every day would have no idea. I think even some of the guys at my shop don't even know
Yeah.
that I do that shit. But I'm up till, dude, I told you on the way here, I was up till 4:30 this morning bidding on a set of wheels in Japan.
Oh my god, dude.
Like-
4:30?
Yeah. And I won them. So, like,
Did you sleep?
No, I couldn't go back to sleep because, so I went to
Oh,
bed.
shit.
I put a bid in last night, like 10:30 on the couch. And then I set an alarm for 30 minutes before the auction ended. So I woke up, went downstairs,
Yeah.
got on my computer, pulled it up, put my bid in again because it got outbid, watched it until I won it. And then I tried to go back to sleep and I couldn't. So I got up, went to the car wash, washed the car, and,
Oh,
and then drove here 3 hours. So.
You sound like my wife trying to get some Jordans, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
always
it's,
pissed off because she doesn't get
well,
up.
yeah. And I lose a lot of shit too, like, it's just, again, it's the thrill of the hunt, I think, that makes
Yeah.
it exciting and fun for me. And it's just borderline addictive.
Mm.
So, but it's good. I don't have any other, like, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. Like,
Do
it's
you
one thing I
just
get into.
not drink, or you just every once in a while?
I love beer.
Okay,
but,
got you.
It's just not good for me. So it messes with my stomach. And I used to drink a lot of beer. I love IPAs and stuff.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
started having some health issues from it. So I
Got
just
you.
stopped cold turkey.
What about smoking?
Nope.
No? Have you before?
Yeah.
Mm.
But I was a distance runner in college. That's another thing.
Ah,
Another
okay.
tidbit. That was
There
in
you
the
go.
first.
Okay, we
In
got
the
another
first
one,
episode.
guys.
So I was a distance runner in college and high school and junior high. And so smoking, when people usually pick up smoking, is like what, junior high, high school.
Yeah.
So because I was a distance runner, that's pretty counterproductive for
Gotcha.
a runner. So I never smoked. I never picked up that habit. And I don't know if you're talking about cannabis or
Marijuana, the devil's lettuce, bro.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm a pretty anxious person.
Mm.
I have a lot of anxiety in big crowds. This setting right here is my ideal setting.
Hell yeah.
I love one-on-one. But even like, 4th of July weekend, we had to get together. And that for me is like, and then in my environment, in my home, inviting people over is very anxious for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's normal or if it's just me, but so I will I'll have a gummy or something here or there just to
help chill you
just
out.
to take the edge off.
Yeah.
But it's not something I need to do, but it's something that does help.
Yeah.
And CBD, I do use a lot of CBD on my joints and stuff as well.
Dude, shout out to Troy Alexander, one of my buddies from the cult.
Oh yeah,
you're in the cult too.
Yep.
Him and his family have a CBD company. And
oh nice.
Damn, I wish I had it.
I should hit him up.
Yeah, I just got a package today because I haven't had it for a while. But he sent me out a package.
Nice.
And bro, I'll have that on me all the time.
Same. After I get off the ice, I'm always
the really
knees, the elbows, the shoulders. Yeah, I've broken my shoulders and stuff on the ice. Broke this shoulder in 4 places. Separated this one. So when I get done, I'm like, I need to, as we age, we don't heal as fast. So like the CBD ointments and stuff. Love it.
But yeah, that's one of my.
What's his company called?
Oh my God! Actually, I
Escape
think
you?
it does. Troy, I'm sorry, bro, but I'll show you after when we go back downstairs.
Nice.
But yeah, I share the same, man. I have a lot of anxiety. And maybe that could lead to my success.
Mm-hmm.
Just always staying busy and just always being pushing forward.
Yep.
But it also is my demise as well. For those times that I need to turn off, and it's hard to turn off. Like I don't really know how to explain it. Oh, maybe other people with anxiety would know, but it's just like I have to be doing something towards some sort of goal.
End game, yeah.
Whether that's finishing our new website or just washing the dishes. And my wife isn't like that, and it's hard for her to understand. And sometimes it's like, damn, why can't you just chill out right now? So sometimes she'll be like, why don't you just go smoke real quick? And that's kind of my
that's when
my sign where I'm like, all right, and then I'll go smoke and I'm chilling and I'm good. But I don't know if that's the best way to deal with it. I don't know if it's just face it head on, because really it just feels like a crutch to me.
Yeah.
But like, when do you take away the crutch if you or if you're missing a leg? Like, do you take away the crutch, or am I not crutched enough? Do I need to be more?
I think everybody's different, and everybody has a functional level. I would never even think about smoking just to get high.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not in my DNA. It's not how I am. It's not how I'm wired. I function just fine without any substances. So for me, it is a crutch. And the thing is like your chick, my chick can tell straight away. Like, dude, you're very anxious right now. You need to chill out. And that's, again, like that's my code to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't advocate it. I don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know that I do that because I don't do it too often. But it is, for me, it helps.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I was on Adderall. And that's a scary drug, man. And that got me through college. My grades got better. Like, I was able to function better on it. But, man, did it have some scary side effects.
Really?
And overpowering to a point where I felt almost helpless, like I needed it. And that, to me, once I had that realization in my head, I took it for probably about a year and a half, and I realized I do not need this. I don't want this. It changes me chemically. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And so I stopped, and I've never taken it again. And I think that was kind of the light bulb that went on in my head, that I don't need anything. I need to try to manage things myself.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that's outside of my control, is the anxiety. I don't sit still.
Yeah.
I need to be doing something like you. I very rarely will sit on the couch and just watch TV. Like, this is just not who I am. I have to be kind of doing something. Whether it could be surfing for car parts.
Yeah.
Or
doesn't have to be
shoes.
significant.
Right. It could be doodling, whatever. But it's, I think we all have it to some extent. I think ADD is kind of a scapegoat.
Yeah.
I don't want to get flamed for that because I have it. But I also think using it as I need to take a drug to calm this down, I think is kind of is not always appropriate.
Yeah,
for everyone,
for sure, dude. And
some people probably do need it.
Yeah, I've never went to the doctor and tried to, get diagnosed.
I'm
anything
clinically
like that.
diagnosed with it. I took
Really?
tests in junior high, and this was before ADHD. I took a bunch of these tests, like reading
And you got the
comprehension,
OG one.
ADD, and that's when they knew I had that in high school. And then when I went to college, my grades were suffering. I was a fantastic athlete, and I had a full ride to college to be a runner, but I couldn't keep my grades up. And then I went on Adderall, and my grades went straight
What
up.
did it make you feel like?
It didn't make me feel well. Okay, it is a drug. It basically ramps you up, and then you crash.
Okay.
So like other like stimulants, it's just a similar thing. But when you do that crash, it allows you to focus. But the problem was I was staying up till 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning studying because I was able to focus and do it. And that's when my grades accelerated. Did really well those semesters, but I didn't like the side effects of it and all the things that came along with it. I'd rather get C's and D's than A's and B's be normal and just take that as it is. I'm not a dumb person.
Yeah.
I just couldn't sit still long enough to read a book.
The way they want you to
The
learn
way
didn't
they
work.
wanted me
Yeah,
to learn.
for
I
sure.
had to figure out my own ways. And so kicking that stuff and getting off of that and getting, just figuring out what worked for me was the best plan of attack.
Yeah. No, I feel you. And when I was single or living by myself, it was a lot easier to manage because it's like I'm not irritating somebody. And I know my wife wouldn't say that I'm irritating her, but if I was around me, I wouldn't want to be around me on those times. It's like, why can't you just be happy right now?
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, I don't know why I can't, but I'm happy when I'm washing the car or washing the dishes or doing something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm like an ant, dude. I have ant DNA, bro.
I know. I always tell people I think I was born like a worker bee. I was meant to be a worker.
Yeah.
Like I just put me in the trenches, whatever.
Yeah.
Put me to work. I'll do a good job.
Show me what to do and let's fucking do it, man. Let's get to that end goal.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like that.
Right.
And the way that I see, being an entrepreneur is no matter who else it serves, it's my choice to want to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't take those stresses or what come with that and put that weight on my wife or my kids.
Right.
Because they would be happy with dad if dad got off work at 6. And
I deal with that struggle every day, man, or every week.
Yeah.
For the last, whenever we started the business, and even before then, even when I worked in corporate America, like, long hours were normal.
Yeah.
It was just because that's what I was happiest doing.
Yeah.
Or something needed to be finished, and I couldn't be bothered to leave because something wasn't done. And man, does that create a lot of stress and anxiety on a relationship too. So
for sure. And it's not even that the other person is just nagging you or what have you, but it's just like I'm a very aware person, and I'm aware when my time is going here versus somewhere else, and that's kind of been my focus now, is that I want to be able to balance more where I'm just not really stressed out with work. Because that's the reason that I have my own business.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be fucking stressed out
reason,
about things. So that's one of my motivations for like social media. I'll try to put out as best content as I can, but usually that's just a landing spot for somebody if they hear about Downstar. What is it? Oh, let me check it out. This is what they sell. Exactly. But I don't need to have this many views or this many likes. It would be so sick if I did. Don't fucking get me wrong, but I understand what the other side of that coin really is. And this part in my life is I can't do that because that's going to interfere with my happiness.
Yep.
And my happiness is my number one goal now. And happiness, not a selfish happiness either.
Well, sometimes it has to be selfish.
Yeah.
I'm becoming more selfish as this world turns because everything's take in the social media space. And if you're not a little bit selfish, you're just going to keep giving. And there's no time for family. There's no time for the things you want to do. I couldn't imagine if someone took away my time with my fiance or my time on the ice. I just wouldn't be me.
For
Like,
sure.
it would just be so unnatural.
Yeah.
So you have to make that time.
Yeah, for sure, man. But I'm glad that we talked about like anxiety, because I talk to people on the podcast about this every once in a while, and it's more times than not that
Really?
shit just oh yeah, for sure.
Is
dude.
there a common thread?
Yeah.
Like between the guests?
For sure.
Or?
It's a lot of people that are very successful is that they're very busy because they need to be very busy, because if they're not very busy, there's things that there's questions that you have to answer.
Yeah.
And there's like, well, why am I like this, or why am I like that? But you don't have to address any of that shit if you're busy building your business. If I see so many people use that as an excuse, like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, no, you're doing a million things, so you don't have to stop and think about like, yo, where the fuck am I really at in life?
Yeah, whether it's finances,
right,
it's
whatever.
Yeah,
you know, because you could be a fucking millionaire and your kids hate you, and
Wow.
then one day you're gonna have to come to that realization. And
Yep.
maybe it's when your kid has a kid and
Okay.
they don't
late.
want them to show you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, but let's turn it around a little bit.
We want to talk
Something a little
about
positive, dude. I want to talk about your garage, bro. What do you got, man? What's the lineup look like right now?
Honestly, it's probably the best it's ever been.
Hell yeah.
I shed a car last year. I got rid of the SIRS. I sold it to a gentleman that came by the shop and made an offer on it. And I let that one go after having it for, the better part of 20 years.
Oh my god.
So, and that goes back to our story of how I actually found out about you. Because you also had an SIRS. And when I was doing research, because my car was a rolling shell when I got it, I was doing research on the chassis itself and found you.
That's crazy.
Found your build.
Yeah.
But I didn't talk to you for probably another 5-6 years after that when we met at WECFest. I think it was in Long Beach. But so my garage is less 1 EG. I sold that car last year, and it's in a new owner's hands. It's been for a little over a year now. And then what I do currently have is the Mazda RZ that I referenced earlier. So it's a black 1995 Mazda RX-7. I also have the Bad Apple, which was built on our Throtl YouTube channel. It was kind of the jump off for our YouTube channel. That car is dubbed the Bad Apple because of the color, and it makes a lot of horsepower. So that's a 93 FD RX-7. So I have 2 RX-7s. I recently picked up a Nissan R32 as a joint project between myself and my fiancée Courtney.
Oh, very cool.
So it's the first time we've done that. We've worked on cars together, but this one we both put in half the money and went and got it.
Oh,
and
sick.
Just kind of a different take on a car build, because I want her to be involved. So I want both of us to have a vested interest in the car. So we have the R32. I also have the Stasia over in Japan. So it's a 260 RS Autech model. We have Courtney's S14, which is a car that we built back in, I think, 2006. It's kind of her holy grail import car. She absolutely loves it. We recently just had a bunch of work done on it because, like the Civic, it had been sitting at the Throtl shop for a year or two in storage, and it got dings and dents and scratches, and I call it shop rash.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
We took it and dropped it off at SOS Customs a few weeks ago, and they actually redid the whole exterior, and then we did the whole interior as well. So the whole interior is now leather and suede inside. It smells like a new car.
And SOS did that?
Yeah. One of the things I love about SOS Customs, if you're in the Southern California area, definitely give them a look, because they're not just a paint shop or a collision repair shop. They actually do everything. Yeah. So literally dropped her car off. I had backed it into something in the shop and cracked the rear bumper. So fiberglass repair, metal repair, interior, dashboards, door cards, you name it. They'll mess with it. They'll even do engine swaps.
Oh, wow.
So they're just a very well-rounded shop. So they're not the only shop that we use, but they're local to me. They're literally like 10 minutes up the road from my house. So I dropped the RZ off there. They're polishing the paint before Sevens Day, which is really cool. And they're gonna reupholster the Recaros in the RZ as well. So I really like those guys. But to continue on with what's in the garage, I also have the F31 BMW that I drove up here. That was a one video transformation on the Throtl channel.
I want to check that out before you leave too.
Yeah, I mean it's a daily, but it's pretty unique in the way it looks and the way it was built. And then we have Courtney's F30, and then she also has a 1981 Volvo.
Oh wow,
264 GLE, which is a really rare, unusual model. It had a Peugeot motor in it, 6-cylinder, and it's a pile of crap. The engine itself, the car is actually nice, but it's an 81 with, like, I think it had 30,000 miles on it when we got it. It was left to her in her grandma's will.
Oh, okay.
So it's a sentimental thing, and hopefully we're gonna do something with that. She's really into the surf style.
Oh, okay.
Cars. It's not a wagon. It's actually a sedan. So I'm gonna put a roof rack on it for me. I was wanting to put a 1JZ engine in it for her and keep it automatic and keep the stock wheels and the patina and everything. But I don't know if we're going to go that route or like a small block Chevy or something. But I want to get that done for her as well soon. So we've got, I think, 8 or 9 cars at this point.
Is it all at the same location or they're all spread out?
Yeah. They're all at the same location. I have the R32s in paint. The Bad Apples in paint. RZ's getting polished. Her S14 just got out of paint. So aside from all the Throtl projects, which are right now currently, I think there's 4 active projects. I also had 4 or 5 of my own active projects going on personally. And then, I'm doing all this Yahoo auctions looking for
brochures. No wonder you have anxiety, dude.
And what's crazy is I actually thank God for Evan Beckerman, my partner, because
Shout out to Evan.
He's getting me sorted on the organization side of things. Like, we have spreadsheets that him and I have worked to kind of create, and every car that I'm working on, whether it be personal or Throtl, has its own spreadsheet with retail costs, our costs on parts, and paint budget, and like everything's budgeted, and it's all there on the spreadsheet. Beautiful. So I can see what I've spent, where I've spent it, what the car's value is on paper. Previously it was like, I probably got about 30 grand in this one, give or take 10 grand. So it's nice to be organized and have that ability to just pull up a spreadsheet and be like, oh yeah, I've got $50,000 in this car. So when I sell it, I don't sell it for 45, thinking I had 30 in it.
Yeah.
So, which I've done. I've sold cars for losses before, like an idiot. And now I'm a little more organized. So
most of the time, it's a loss.
Yeah.
Unless you play it right.
Yeah. And so with the economy the way it is, and with the 90s Japanese cars becoming so iconic and now becoming somewhat limited at this point. Like, even just trying to find a clean EG these days is like pulling teeth. Yeah. Let alone EK. They're hard to find as well.
We're still gonna talk, bro. I'm planting seeds.
You got that EG, huh?
I'm planting seeds.
I could be open for that.
All right.
But anyway, that's the fleet. And I've got 1 or 2 others that I'm actually going to be looking at when I'm over in Japan. So.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Hell yeah, dude. So let's talk about the selling of the EG, dude. Since I have the same car, bro, I couldn't see selling it, man. So talk me through that. Yeah. So I know you had that combo in the mirror.
Like your EG, that one had a lot of sentimental value to me. It was a car that basically I got almost straight away after I moved out to California. So I saved it from being crushed. It was a rolling shell that was brought in from Japan as a parts car. It was stripped down. All the parts were sold, and it was about to be scrapped. I told you guys in the first episode that I traded a set of Falcons for it when I worked at Falcon. Got the chassis, brought it home. It sat for 4 or 5 years unattended to. Once I had the budget, I started hunting all the parts down. And that's where I eventually found you, is because I was looking for what were the appropriate parts for an SI or S model. And your car was pretty complete. So I was looking at your photos of you're doing your engine bay, but I'm like looking through the window in the pictures, like trying to see what pattern was on the seats and what center console it had and all that, all that fun stuff. So, here we are. I guess that was like 2008. So here we are all these years later, and the car's done. Like, I've literally found all of my holy grail parts that I wanted for it, all the Mugen stuff, and the rare center lock wheels, and upgraded clutch, and LSD, and all the stuff that I did to it. And the car had just been sitting for like 2 years inside Throtl. It was kind of like a showpiece in the background. But as I was mentioning with Courtney's S14, it gets a lot of shop rash just sitting around. Like, people drop stuff, things fall over in the shop, or somebody's not careful and they back into something. So it was just starting to get worn, and I didn't like that. Like, I spent so much time and put so much care into the car, stripping it down to bare metal, having it all repainted, custom paint, you name it, and it was just starting to get worn on. So a gentleman came through the shop. He heard about the car, came to look at it. I didn't think much of it. I knew what I wanted. If the car was going to leave, it was going to take a pretty steep number to take it from me, because I knew what I had in it. And I knew that they're becoming harder to find in that condition. And then the SRS is just a special car. They only made a handful of them in Japan only. So he came back at me a couple of weeks after he came to see the car and said, yo, I want it, and this is the number. And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm not going to sell it.
Yeah.
But then I started analyzing the number that he gave me and what I had in the car, and if there was going to be opportunity in the future to actually get that number for the car again. And again, it's like playing the stock market. You don't know. I mean, it could double in value in 10 years. I don't know. Who knows? It could be the next 69 Camaro.
Or Chevelle.
Yeah, any of those cars.
That's a car I have, 69 Chevelle.
Oh, you have one?
Yeah.
Damn. So you get it. It's like, it's one of those things where I saw an opportunity to get out from underneath the car that was just sitting and basically collecting dust. I wasn't enjoying the car. It was time for someone else to enjoy it, and the price was right. So I took the money, sold him the car. I thought he would be a good steward to the car as well, which he has been. He takes good care of it. It still looks exactly the same as when I had it. He just put a couple stickers on it. And, he's been enjoying it, and he's using it as a catalyst to get his YouTube channel up and running. So I was all about it. Like, it took me a little bit to get on board with it, but I thought he was doing it for all the right reasons, and I felt it was a good stepping stone for him to get his stuff going as well. So the gentleman that bought it, his name is Garrett, and he has a YouTube channel called Exotic Envy, and he's been doing a lot of moving and shaking in the YouTube space, slowly growing his channel, and just having fun. He's got a couple little kids. They love the EG. He put the car seats in the back. No one had ever sat in the back seat since I built the car.
Yeah.
And so he showed a video on Instagram of him with his two kids in the back, and it gave me goosebumps. I was so happy that I sold the car to him, because they were enjoying it as a family, and that's, at the end of the day, like, it just put a smile on everybody's faces. So that was really nice, and I felt really good about selling it to him. So yeah, that's that. So the EG has moved on to him, and I think he's getting ready to revamp the car. He's going to kind of put his own spin on it.
Oh,
so
okay.
Kind of a sad day for me.
Yeah.
But I've had my time with it, so
yeah,
I'm at peace with that.
I guess sometimes you just have to look at it like that. You've had your time. As for me, like the right-hand drive, that and the Chevelle, they can never leave. Yeah. And if they do leave, the Titanic is sinking.
Hey, if the EG gets sold, guys, Frank's hurting.
Go fund me, please. Go fund me.
Don't sell the SIRS.
I'll be homeless in the right hand. We'll sleep in the Chevelle, and then we'll take the right hand, and that'll be the daily.
Here's the deal. You sell it to me, and then when you get back on your feet, you can have it back.
That's why you gotta have friends like Mickey, bro. For sure, dude. But
that's a special car.
I get it, dude. Like, I'm in that spot with the gray hatch, the heavy in the streets EG. I love that car, man, and that car is like, has so much of the Downstar identity to it.
Yeah, for sure.
It has so much history to it. But I'm at the point of it which I'm not sure if I want to go to that the next level, because I don't see any value in it, and value for the business. Because value for me personally would not be to build another Honda. Right. Because I know exactly what bolt goes where, what goes here. It's nothing. It's just putting Legos together. So selflessly, I would love to see that car go on and have its another life, because
that's the realization I came to.
that car has history. That car belonged to Ryan Hegner, which is the one who runs the Eibach meet, now the Honda meet.
Yep.
After he sold it to I forget the name. I think it's Gil's brother. He used to own Circuit Hero. So when they had that car, it had its own life. It got K-swapped. It was on cover of Honda Tuning.
Really?
You know,
I didn't know that history.
Yeah, and then I got the car from them. They sold me the shell, and then I bastardized the car, put Lambo doors on it, and Purger. And
I remember when you were building that car, I was like, man, this guy's gone off the deep end. But I appreciated it because you were taking a step back with that car.
Yeah, for sure.
That was really cool.
For sure. I just had Nads on the pod and we were talking about it, and that car was the car that I did everything to that I wanted to do to a car when I didn't have the means. So there was a point where I wanted nitrous. There was a point where I wanted Lambo doors, underglow, and it all just mixed up.
Now you can do
into
it.
one. Yeah, now I could do it, so it just mixed up into one car.
Sure.
But I'm done with it. So we'll see what the future holds for that car. But yeah, I get it, dude. There's always those cars that somebody has that they just can't let go, and I feel like that with the right hand, because that was the reason that I'm here to this day.
Yeah. If
it wasn't for that car, there would be a Downstar, but it probably wouldn't have to do with cars or bolts or anything.
Yeah. So with mine, other than sentimental value and hunting out all those parts and stuff over the years, that was the only real value that had to me, was just the memories. Where for you built a brand off of your car.
Yeah.
I did not build a brand off of the Civic.
For sure.
I would say if any car I have that I built or helped build our brand off of would be my RX-7. And so that's going to be the hard one to sell for me, the bad apple. But it will be going up for sale at some point. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on version 2 of it right now. It's going to look completely different, and it's an animal. And as I get older, I'm finding that horsepower numbers aren't as important.
For sure.
I think I've found kind of where the good area is for horsepower on most of these 90s Japanese cars, and that one exceeds it by almost double. So it's a great car. I love it, and it'll always mean something to me, but I think my time with it, I've done what I can with it. And I think it's time for somebody to enjoy that thing. Yeah. Take it to the track, do whatever, enjoy it. It's car shows, whatever. It's amazing, and it will be hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
But in the space that we're in, cars kind of easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
A little too. And there are regretful ones. Like, I wish I had my 8.6 back, but it's gone. Somebody's enjoying it, and it still looks the same as it did when I sold it. So, you can't really ask for much more than that.
Yeah.
It lives on, has a good life, and
you know what? They really live on, bro. If you look at anything here, it's gonna have a life after you're done with it.
Yeah.
You're only in possession of things for a certain amount of time. Yep. However long that time is up to you or whatever it is. But those cars are gonna continue. It's not like when you sell it that it just disappears.
Right.
Until it does disappear.
Yep.
Whether then it's melted down or what have you.
Yep.
But these things they have a life of their own. Maybe not a life like we have, because they don't have
it's different. Yeah.
But they do have their own life and their history. And like I was saying, the Heavy in the Streets EG, that was a huge part of Ryan Hegner's life.
Right.
And then of the Circuit Hero's life, and then of my life, and then now somebody else. And that car has its own sort of history, which is a beautiful thing, man.
Well, there's something neat to like even the white EG6 that I sold, seeing it live on in the same fashion as how I built the car. I don't know the state of the engine anymore, the clutch. I don't know any of that stuff. I don't drive the car. So whether the guy's maintaining it or not, I don't know. All I know is what I did.
Yeah.
And that car to me was the perfect EG spec.
Yeah.
What means the most to me is that he's driving it, he's enjoying it with his family and his kids. To me, that outweighs any passion I still have for the car.
Yeah.
The fact now, if he took it, he bought it, he put it in a bubble in the garage, and it's just sitting there, then I would feel pretty dumb.
Yeah.
because I could do the same thing. I didn't need to sell the car.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a good opportunity to get my finances back out of it and put it in the hands of somebody that's going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. So I hope you're able to, if you ever have to, find the same sort of situation.
No, I'm selling it to you. You already said I'm gonna sell it to you, and then I'll buy it back later.
I'll take good care of that
for the
car.
same price, Mickey.
I'll take good care of that car.
All right, Mickey. So let's get to Throtl, bro.
Okay.
What paint the picture for us that you have in your head. What is Throtl gonna look like for the next 6 months, year, and beyond? What are you guys cooking?
Well, rapid growth. Obviously, we've like supercharged this business over the past, I guess, 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But the last couple of years have been really great for the business. A lot of you probably don't know that we were actually acquired by an investment group back in December, which is awesome. It's great for us. It's going to help us grow this thing even faster and even better than what we could have done on our own dime and our own time. So having a big brother, so to speak, behind us is massive, and it's going to allow us to do the things that we probably weren't going to be able to do by ourselves. It also opens up a lot of professional individuals that are working on the team now that we wouldn't have been able to afford or had, that are very smart and can help guide us, because we were just basically doing what we knew best.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked for us. But
for sure, you got the attention.
You get to a point where you're going to learn a lot of hard lessons along the way. You get to a point where you see some success, but then you fail. And then you have more success and you fail. It's just you've seen it. I'm sure you're an entrepreneur. But having a big brother behind you that has finances, has a team of staff that is available for you to help guide and send you off in the right path and pat you on the butt and say, you're doing a good job, keep doing what you're doing. That is so much more helpful than you could ever imagine. It's something that we needed structure-wise as a company, and it's going to help us grow this to be a massive entity in the future.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, we really want to be a massive player in the auto parts sales space, and be providing car parts to all the enthusiasts that are out there, not just a small niche group of people. So we're really trying to get trucks involved on the site. So we're mostly Japanese and Euro brands. Now we're adding a lot of trucks. I think we added 40,000 wheel part numbers in the last 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, something like that. So we've got a heap of wheels, and next will be tires, and it's just given us the ability to grow this thing and add a lot more products to the page and make us more available to the general public.
Damn, congratulations, bro.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's definitely something that I think we all I mean the founding partners strived for since the beginning. We knew this is the direction we wanted to go. We just didn't know how long it was going to take to get there. In our eyes, we wanted to get there in a year or two, but it took almost, I think, 7 or 6.
Yeah, so. I mean, the value's in the journey itself,
Yeah, dude, the learning experience along the way is you can't learn that stuff unless you do it.
For sure.
And so that's probably the most valuable thing I took away from starting the business with the partners and helping them grow it to where it is today. And now seeing an acquisition take place and going through that process, it's exciting, and it's neat, and it gives us a whole new outlook for the future.
Very cool, man. Mickey, I love talking with you, bro. 2.5 hours.
Has it been that long?
Like nothing, bro.
I think last one was like 3 something.
We're almost at 3 last time, dude.
Okay.
But dude, I love everything that you guys are doing, and I wanted to thank you for the support that you guys give us, man.
Oh, it's our pleasure. I wanted to say, obviously, thank you to you as well, but I didn't really get a chance last time before we cut it off to acknowledge the fact that you have been with us since basically day one, and you've provided your products for essentially every car that we've built, which I think you might be one of our longest standing partners. So,
oh, dude, hell yeah.
So huge thank you to you. When we couldn't afford to buy nuts and bolts to build these cars, you were right there, with a sack of bolts saying, "Here, bro, go build that shit because it's rad, and
sure.
we want to be behind it." So
Yeah, thank you, man.
The support is unending from the Downstar team. We appreciate that.
Hell yeah, dude. I love it, man. I just love being part of all these builds. And
dude, the R32 we're building right now, I swear to God, every nut and bolt
really
on the car is Downstar.
I love it, dude.
Like,
hell yeah.
Without these products, the car would just be on like stock bolts, and nobody likes that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And my a lot of my motivation to it was, at first you're planting seeds, but
Yeah.
I've planted seeds in a lot of places, and a lot of places with big exposure like you have, and they're business relationships.
Yeah.
But like, I always say that you're probably a handful of guys in this industry that are real genuine person.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean, we didn't even really talk about this much, but the debut of the FREK was in the Downstar booth.
Hell yeah.
For the Honda Fest.
I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Bro, and that was so huge for me. And you called me and offered the car to me, and that's so dope of you, dude, because other people would have not done that at all. And I know that they wouldn't have done that.
Well, as I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, you were one of the people that was instrumental in me even like taking on that project. You telling me, "Yeah, bro, I think it's a great idea." That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
And so for me, like that sticks. And Ryan was one of the other ones as well, and John. But one of you three guys was getting that car, the first public debut. And I could have just as easily had a Throtl booth at that event.
For sure.
That doesn't achieve what we've built, right?
Yeah.
So to allow you to use it as a marketing tool, and for me to just give you the gesture of thank you, and here, this is what I built, and I want you to promote it and use it as a tool for your business. That to me is like, everything going full circle, and that's how it should be.
As it should be, bro. Like the way that you look at things is like an OG looks at it. And I feel our community's lacking on OGs, and that's what we need, and we need to give people like you their flowers. So
thanks, bro.
Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate everything, man.
I love doing these talks, so we're gonna have to do one again.
Hell yeah, dude. Hopefully less than 1,000 days from now.
Yeah, I think we can.
All right, Mickey. So before we get out of here, where can people find you and Throtl at?
Yeah, so Throtl's easy. It's at Throtl, THROTL on Instagram and TikTok. Throtl YouTube channel. You'll find that right away. Start typing it in. It'll come up. If you don't subscribe to the channel, please do. We're trying to get to 2 million as soon as we can.
Let's make it happen, guys.
So hit that subscribe button if you head over there. And then my personal Instagram is Mickey Andrade.
And we'll tag it all below. So 2 million, are you going to have a party?
I hope so. We hit 1 million, and I think we talked about having a party, and I think we just ordered pizza. It's kind of lame.
Yeah, I think that this needs to be like an event.
Yeah, we should have, even if it's just like a car event or hell, let's just throw a bash.
Whatever, dude. Why not?
2 million's a big deal, man.
That's
like,
huge, dude.
When you see the numbers just creep as slow as they creep, like you get these milestones in your head, and you're like, man, it's never gonna happen, and it takes forever and ever for it to get there. But I think that's why it's so important to celebrate it. We didn't do a good enough job at 1 million. I think we partied harder at 100,000.
Really?
Yeah.
So at 1.8, you guys already got to start planning, dude. We got this plan ready. You got to rent a hall. We got to get some music performers. We'll have fucking skateboarding. We'll have cars. We'll have everything. We'll have a clown, someone on stilts, fire, breathing fire. I could just picture it all right now, dude.
And then you're going to be the party planner.
I'll plan to do an ice sculpture. Somebody's sculpting it right there. And then I'm just pouring. I got it in my head already.
Right. I'll start getting the budget together.
I got a homie. So
you got any unicorns available?
I'll find a horse with a hat on, dude.
Nice.
Mickey, thank you for the drive, dude.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you, dude. And thank you for your friendship, brother.
Likewise.
And thank you guys for listening, man. 2.5 hours in. I know you could have did a lot of other things with your time that were a waste and really boring. So thanks for spending it with us. Downtime with Downstar. We out. Peace.